do it anyway. That's not you, yeah, we are not the same. I put the work in, you complain. I'm a rebel, I'm the main. I'm the alpha in this game. And that ain't never gonna change. Never gonna change, never gonna switch. Cause I'm in this game, yeah, I'm in this bitch. Stick another pay, yeah, we're getting rich. Investing all the money in the bigger things. Yeah, we going heavy, yeah, we killing it. It's never slowing down, then we feeling it. They cannot hold us down, cause we never quit. We're the rebels of the town, and we getting shit. So the enemies, I'm taking them apart. I'm a young boss, got me feeling like a rock. They can never match it, they can never stop. Cause I've been really giving everything that I got. Looking at a plan, on a plot. Moving with the killers, and we going to the top. We're blowing up your city, and you might get dropped. Yeah, I'm the hunter, you're the prey. You a breath that I never went away. I'm the new leader, it's time for a change. Heading every day. I'm the new leader, it's time for a change.
What's up, everybody? It's TEKNOBLAST here on Technos Gaming and SIKSLAYER, minus the realist. He'll be here soon, hopefully. He's probably
he will be.
He's probably out with his kids right now, so we're not gonna hate him for that. But if he was sleeping on the road, yeah, well,
nah, he was driving, so he'll be on the way.
We'll make fun of him because he was sleeping. He was sleeping, so man.
That's good on him.
Got a few things that happened this past, or today at least, in the last few days since our last show. You know, with Sony canceling 2 more games. Space Marine's a huge success as always. The big news today was Nintendo unveiled put out a new video called the first look trailer for the Nintendo Switch, which I will not be getting because I think I'm done with them. No hate. I just don't have time for it.
Not for you.
Nah, not for me. Not for me. But happy to see that they are backward comp. So that's a big plus. And I saw the video, man. I do like the size of it. I do like how they did the Joy-Cons this time. And hopefully they knock it out of the park. I'm sure they will. So we'll see. What's up with you?
Yeah, well, I'm doing good. How you doing, first of all? You doing good, brother?
Yeah, it's just a little cool here. We're supposed to get another Arctic freeze here next week, supposedly.
Yeah, I got a good dusting here myself today.
Yeah, my mom called me. It's like, Mijo, I heard it's gonna be really cold up there. And I was like, Mom, it's only cold for a day. Yeah, but still, you gotta be careful. And the kids, are the kids okay? Yes, the kids are fine. They're just lazy, listening to TV or, looking at their tablets. But they gotta be careful and not get sick, mijo. You know how there's germs. Like, yes, mother, yes. I know.
Hey, man, their immune system needs to work out anyway. They'll be all right. They'll be all right.
The kids are looking forward to another snow week. That's what they want. Right?
Word.
And Kieran said, it doesn't stop them from raiding the supermarket, though, like it's a blizzard. No kidding, man. I told you guys, I don't know if I mentioned it here. When I went to go get some milk and whatever the week before when the first storm came in, there was a guy with a cart full of hot dogs, tons of packets of hot dogs. I was just like, dude, it's gonna be 1 day of freezing. That's it. You know, it's like, how much hot dogs can you eat in 1 day?
I could eat. Hey, I could eat a couple glissies. Hey, yo, but man,
no, man, they raid the supermarkets here, man. When they hear that snow's coming, it's nuts, man. How they shut down everything. It's like,
and you think they haven't learned their lesson? It's happening often enough,
dude.
now.
It's been happening for like the last 5 years, and they still like don't get it. It's not gonna be that bad. Don't worry about it. You know?
Yeah.
And so,
even if it was, all that stuff you getting ain't gonna save you.
nah.
Man, let me tell you, man, I'm in a rare mood. I kind of feel like equal parts ambivalence and equal parts Elmo with the, with that meme with Elmo, he's got his hands in the air with the flames in the background.
Yeah.
Like, burn it down.
Burn this bitch down.
Yeah. I'm just telling you, man. This is like whatever, bro. But at the same time, I'm kind of ambivalent.
Wait.
It's like,
Let me check with the chat. Can you guys hear Sick or the Slayer Sick? I want to make sure because all my settings got jacked up with the last update.
Realist hears me, but I mean, we usually be hearing each other and they can't hear.
Yeah, we can hear
You
each
and me.
other, but chat sometimes because OBS kind of switches things around on its own, and I don't like it.
He can hear
All
me.
right, he said he can hear
Sweet.
us, so we're good.
So yeah, man, I'm in that rare form where I'm kind of ambivalent. On one side, I'm like, there's two extremes, right? I'm at one side, I'm quite ambivalent. I was like, whatever, right? At the same time, yes, hey, man, that's karma for you, man, because y'all shouldn't been talking shit. Now look at y'all now, right? Talking all that crap about Xbox lately in the past couple days, right? This week.
Yes.
And now look at them, right? Like, bro, I have not been cursing on mushy boards all day. I have not been. But I've been playing whack-a-mole. Let me tell you, man. When that was you talking that ish, that's right. And shout out to our boy Sheik.
Wait, people use message boards still?
I don't know why you say message boards, man. I think it's this inner old man talking about that.
Oh, it's your old man.
But don't worry. We're the same age. Hey, man, and you can't tell us nothing about no old man talk, old man. All right? Just remember that.
I know.
Yeah. But you know what it is, man. Like, we got lots of stuff to talk about, but I see our boy Realist is here. What's going on, Real?
It ain't nothing, man.
Ain't
Ain't
nothing.
nothing. Hey, look, I was just trying to catch the flow.
Oh
Because
yeah.
you called me like 20 minutes ago, and I looked down. I was like, oh shit, the show's on. But anyway, my alarm didn't go off.
Oh, there.
But I have an alarm set for like 5 minutes before the show.
What it do?
It ain't nothing, man. Look, I'm just ready to get into, because I mean, a lot of times we create our own news, right?
Yeah.
You know, not a whole lot going on. But today we actually got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So which one you want to talk about first, Realist, man? Let's go with your choice this time. What you want to talk about?
I mean, y'all got the Switch on the. Did y'all already talk about that in 6 minutes?
No, we ain't talking about that yet.
Now you know what? Let's talk about his video because the one that I didn't catch on Sunday, and then he just yelled at me just now.
I did not yell at you.
Wow. So Sick put out a video on his channel. It's called the Slayer Sickness, and here it goes. And heck, man, we could play the audio.
No. Don't play.
Well, you don't want to hear yourself? You don't want to hear yourself.
Well, I just heard myself.
He's embarrassed.
Like,
come on, don't be shy. Don't be shy.
You hear my voice every day, but I'm saying,
don't be shy. Come on. Like, I'm tickling you. Don't be shy.
I'm not tickling. No, but let the video just rock. And I'll just say what I gotta say real quick. Ain't nothing. The play button is right on the upper left there, right next to the volume
again.
Yeah. So basically, like, I ordered this months ago. You know, guys, I've been talking about this Hori pad. Been waiting to grab this because it has the gyro support and all of that. The triggers are kind of ass, but it finally showed up on this Sunday. I finally got it. It came with a long USB-C cable. It came with a Bluetooth adapter. Instruction booklet, multiple languages, and of course, like I said in the video, the controller itself. It feels light, like everybody's been saying, but because it doesn't have the rumble motors, much like the original controller on the PS3, it makes it feel like it's cheap, but it's just missing the rumble motor. That's all, right? And so it feels cheap, but it's really not. But as you see right there was a spot for them to put a headphone jack, but they didn't do that either. That's a bigger L in my mind. And
Yeah, they put the
that,
little notch there, like nothing.
yeah. Like
I
they were gonna
mean,
put it there, but
it
they
is a
didn't do it.
PC controller though, right?
Right, it's a PC controller, but still, like the
And
Xbox
hold on,
controller,
did I hear you correctly? There's no rumble.
there's no rumble motors at all, and so thus it feels cheap
Wow.
because it's much lighter. But I presume it's because of the gyro stuff, right? It's way better gyro than like the DualSense or anything like that.
And what does the
It's way
gyro
above
do?
that when it comes to that. So basically, it's much like the DualSense in that regard. But if you've seen any of these videos that I've been talking about lately, when it comes to gyro controls and FPS games, right? Where it's a cross between mouse and keyboard
Mhm.
and a controller,
Yeah.
it bridges all that gap where your accuracy and stuff is really much like a mouse.
Oh.
Really, really, really good.
So you point the
So that's
controller
like the
where you
bottom
want
line.
it to, and it points it in the game.
Right.
Oh.
Right. There's all types of different motions you do. Once you get used to it, it makes a lot of sense. But this controller is basically in terms of like the features, you can just imagine a Steam Deck without the thumb pads, right?
Yeah.
Like the analogs have the sensors on them, so it knows when your finger is on top of the analogs and stuff, right? Like it knows that. It has the quick access button. You see the 3 buttons on the right there on the bottom right.
Yeah.
When you hit that button, it's like that menu that you get on Steam in big picture mode. That menu that slides in from the right. That's that same menu you get. And so like my main issues with it is where it has that little notch for the headphone jack, but it doesn't have it because the Xbox controller, even back with the 360, when you use it on PC, like that jack shows up as an audio device. So if you have headphones in it, like it works. You can use it for your mic and whatnot. It's all there, right? So the fact that they had the notch there but decided not to put that in is kind of lame, I'd say.
You
right?
should tell them. You should contact them and send that out like a nasty letter.
Nah, I'm not gonna do that because this is the first of its kind. Like I want to see more of these, right? But like Xbox has a standard of their controllers. I want to see more Steam controllers that have that same functionality, right? Because it just works so well. But this was the first one that really does all that gyro stuff that I really want to experiment with because the DualSense isn't really as good as it was in the Steam Deck. And also, the triggers aren't so great. But if you notice on the back there's 2 switches, like I mentioned in the video. One of the switches is to put into X input mode, which basically makes it like an Xbox controller, right? But it only works as an Xbox controller if you plug it in. It can't do it wirelessly. But the switch on the left, it switches the triggers into digital mode, not analog. And you see I'm clicking it right there in the video. But when you have it in that mode, it's more like a mouse clicker, right? Right, because it's digital, like you can hear right now. I'm pressing it, right?
Yeah.
And so if like you're doing that gyro type of thing, like that's actually in hindsight is better than
Office calling.
right. So it feels like a mouse, even though I muted it, it's still loud as hell. Hey, yeah, I still have a house phone. You think this moron would pick up?
He got a call center behind him.
Yeah. So anyway, like it feels like a mouse clicker, which in hindsight, at first I'm like, yeah, these triggers are sus. But when I view it from that lens, that's pretty good. When you're trying to do the gyro thing, you want it to be more like a mouse clicker, right? Or you don't need the analog ness of the triggers. Like if I depended on analogs or whatever, I would use my Xbox controllers instead, right? The PC being the platform, you could use whatever controller you want. You use the right tool for the job. But it does have good bumpers, way better bumpers than the Steam Deck had. I'll tell you that much. And the D-pad, it looks kind of generic, but it works well. It passes the Contra test, where if you hold, when you hold down in Contra, and you press left or right, it doesn't like get back up. Or like if you're playing Contra and you're holding the down button, the character's supposed to crouch. But if you hit down and left or down and right, it's supposed to just switch directions. You're not supposed to see a character get back up for a split second. That's a good test. You've seen a lot of these retro handhelds. That's a test that they do for the D-pad, and so it passes that D-pad test. So the D-pad, even though it looks like it's generic and basic, it works well, man. I do easy Hadoukens with it. I tried some Street Fighter, some Tekken with it. I mean, as an action controller, it's pretty good. But if you're trying to do FPS, this is the main reason I have it. Like I said, it's for the gyro stuff. But there are 2 buttons right on the D-pad and the analog that you can see there. I use those. I use one for screenshots and then one for recording video. Like I programmed those as macros. In Steam, completely recognizes the controller. It already knows how to interface with it and all its features, because it's a Steam controller really. And so yeah, for less than $65 shipped, not so bad for something that for me is mostly a grand experiment. But yeah, when it comes to Steam games and it comes to FPS, this is gonna be my main thing unless I need the analogs to be like really good, like triggers. If it's like I'm playing Forza or something, I probably won't use this because of the triggers. But
you're gonna use this for Space Marine.
For Space Marine, yeah, I would. If I wanted to use the gyros in Space Marine, which I don't think I need to because the auto aim in that game is heavy, right?
Mhm.
So I probably would stick with with my Xbox controller in that regard. It depends on the game, like I say, right? In Space Marine, probably not, but I mean, it would work well for that. It would, so that'd be equally fine. But
Yeah,
if I had to choose, I probably would use the Xbox controller. But like I said, this is really just a grand experiment for me, and this is the first of what I hope is many Steam controllers that have all the buttons and functionality that the Steam Deck has in a controller. Because not everybody wants to buy a Steam Deck, but a lot of people probably would want to have all the buttons, like the quick access button where that menu slides in from the right, not the one that slides in from the left, where you can adjust your like VRR and TDP and all that other stuff that Steam allows you to do.
yeah.
Or like switching your music tracks if you're playing music in the background. Steam has a menu for that, and so that button there will give you that access to that menu. Because otherwise, with the Xbox controller, you have to hold down the Xbox button and press the A button instead of having a dedicated button to do that. As well, I got the two buttons, that I've already configured, to take a screenshot and to record videos. Because Steam has, really good recording now that they added about a month or two ago. And so, yeah, overall, this is a pretty nice controller. I don't recommend it for everybody, but if you're into the gyro thing, this is the best one I've seen thus far.
I need my Rumble.
So yeah, but if you need your Rumble, this ain't for you.
Yeah.
Hopefully that Xbox controller that they keep talking about with the Brooklyn rumor happens.
Brooklyn.
I feel that would be the apex.
Stable or Stable, everyone say it.
Yeah,
Stable.
something like that. Yeah, something like that. I don't really know either, but yeah, something like that.
I know it's SEBILE, but yeah, I need my Rumble though, man.
Yeah, I can't knock that. Yeah, I can't knock that, bro. But it works.
I mean, like, have you ever used it? Have you ever used the Switch? Have you ever used the Switch Pro controller?
Yes.
Is it better than that?
I would say it's about the same, actually.
Yeah,
it's very much like it. It's very much like it.
Look, I know that like PC people, right? They don't like Rumble. I hear a lot of people say they don't like Rumble, and plus keyboards don't rumble. So, like for me,
would it be nice if they did?
I like to have my Rumble. It'd be very noisy unless you got like a dampener.
Yeah. Your keyboard's just bouncing around.
I mean, maybe like haptics in a mouse.
Yeah,
that would kind of be cool. But I'm assuming that at this point, because they've got haptic headphones, haptic earbuds. There's a reason why they haven't added it to anything as far as inputs for PC. But yeah, I'd like to have my Rumble. I'm not a what do you call gyro person, but it seems like a lot of people are starting to ask about it. I play with gyro on Splatoon. That's it.
But what do you think about that?
But I prefer the sticks.
What's your opinion of that in Splatoon?
What about it? What'd you say?
Yeah. What'd you say? Think about it in Splatoon? Because you said you tried it in Splatoon. What do you think?
Well, the thing is it's the default.
Oh.
So like when Splatoon 3 came, like I've been playing Splatoon 3 for so long. I mean, Splatoon 2 for so long that when Splatoon 3 came out, I'd already heard, Doc used to always, try to hype up gyro.
Yes.
Because there was something that you had to do. I want to say for the Steam Deck, you had to do something to get it to work, or was it the Ally? I can't remember which one. But I know, like once you bought, well, I know that if you bought the Hall Effects Gullah kit for which I did for the Steam Deck, you had to solder that wire, otherwise the gyro wouldn't work. So I never got into it, but when Splatoon came out, it was the default. I'd heard so much from him, Chris J. I know you know Chris J. from hyping up gyro. So I was like, let me try it. I see how it can work for some people. It's very responsive. A game like Splatoon though doesn't require a lot of accuracy because it deals you deal splash damage. But I'm hearing about people playing like precision shooting games with gyro, and I think that's cool if you can master it.
Yes, exactly, and that's why I call it a grand experiment. Like that's my main focus. When he asked me earlier about Space Marine, like I said, is heavy on the auto aim. I don't need it there, but I mean it would work just fine, of course. But
because the reason why I asked about the Switch controller, because you can play with the Switch controller or Pro controller on Steam. Of course, you can play with PlayStation 5. Controller on Steam, and gyro is enabled automatically. So that's why I asked about the Pro controller, because that's my only experience, and I felt like that was pretty good.
Yeah. It's just the only difference I would say, because the feel and everything else is very similar, right?
And it has rumble.
It almost feels like it does, but it almost feels like in a way they took a Pro controller, like a Hori Pro controller, and they modified it into this. Like you could see how that somebody would have developed a theory like that, right? But in terms of the gyros seem to be more sensitive than what was in the Pro controller. That seems to be the main difference. But I see Tech here is laughing his head off, man. What's so funny?
It's Kieran's like, dude, it's like Six been talking about 15 minutes on a Steam controller on the day the Switch was announced.
Hey, man, he's gonna want to talk about this first. Like I asked Willis about Don't blame me.
But look, how many videos has everybody watched already?
I know.
There was a watch party last night before I went to sleep.
Oh, really?
The live podcast. They show up first. So there were like 5 live parties that I saw of people who were just expecting for a Switch video to come out, and that was at like 12 o'clock our time. It didn't come out till like 8. So you had people with watch parties live streaming this, right? And when they announced it,
now,
with
guys,
the little 2-minute,
be patient with us.
Video.
It's coming out any minute.
No. Now that's the one thing I like about Nintendo people.
Yeah.
And the thing I hate the most about PlayStation people. Nintendo people talk about Nintendo. So while they're talking about while they're doing their watch parties, they're looking at what could be coming out, what Nintendo property could be coming out, what Nintendo party you think might be a launch party. Do you think you'll have backwards compatibility? They're talking about the console. They don't give a damn about Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah.
Now I watched one of them for like 5 minutes, and that's pretty much what they were talking about. But how many videos have you saw already, Kira? I mean, at least 10. A 2-minute video, right? And they did nothing but show what we already knew, which is what I was talking about last week. That is next to. Yes. I mean, if you're not a hardcore Nintendo fan, there was nothing to be excited about because you saw everything that they showed.
Yeah,
including the 9 video game.
Yeah, I mean, all I watched was a trailer, and I was like, okay, well then they didn't show anything. They just show what it looks like.
Right, which you already knew because of all the leaks, right? And shout out to Wolf's Den because I saw his video on it, and he was right. But like he broke down all.
Wolf's Den.
Yeah, he did a video, like breaking down all the rumors, which rumors were right, which ones were wrong. And one of the things he said in that video was, because this is basically how he started his video. It's like it was a bit of a non-event because most everything was already leaked out anyway, and they weren't telling us too much. This is basically
this is their own fault for even looking at the leaks in the first place. That's why I hate leaks, man. I hate when people look at leaks and then get disappointed upset when the real thing comes out.
Right, I agree. But at the same time, though, like Nintendo's been holding on to this since forever. Like we've been about this. We've known everything for so long. It's kind of annoying. One thing behind the scenes, the GPU is actually Ampere and not Turing, which is the one before. So like the GPU is actually technology from the RTX 30 series, not the
Last
20
year.
series. Yeah, last gen. Well, 2 gens back, not 3 gens back. Right?
Last gen, we're
But
still in the 40 until the 50s come out.
oh, right, the 50s are now out. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. I'm talking about like the 50s already out. But you're right. Yeah, but instead it's one newer than everybody assumed it was. Right?
Yeah.
That's what
Oh,
it's at.
dang, they thought it would be before that? No, I didn't.
Right.
No, they couldn't
Right.
do that because like they gotta remember the whole up-down paradigm that they normally have. They have the opportunity to slam dunk off
Yes.
of it's like every time they have a good one, it's coming off the back of a bad one that they had to fight
Right.
their way up on. This is why they're so secretive. This is why they're deliberate. Is because they need to make sure that this goes off right. They need to make sure that the messaging comes off across right, that it doesn't turn everybody off, that everybody knows what's coming, that everybody understands that this is the next generation. And eventually we're going to leave the Switch behind. People didn't understand what the Wii U was. They can't have that happen again.
Absolutely.
Especially now when they got the industry at their knees. Everybody wants to make games for the Switch, and that includes Xbox and PlayStation.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I said this on the Xbox podcast like a year and a half ago, and it was Sega Man, and you know E-Rock, right? I said,
Oh, I
man,
remember him. Yeah.
I said, man, I'm gonna have to admit that Nintendo did it right. And it was like, no, Nintendo's a good console. I have one. Sega Man was saying, I was like, nah, Nintendo won, man. They did it right.
We knew they won. Because I read
Xbox and PlayStation did it wrong. Because when PlayStation basically pushed Nintendo in the kiddie corner, Nintendo doubled down on their own IP while Microsoft and PlayStation fought over IP they didn't own. And in turn, they built IP that they won't own, and in PlayStation's case, may never own. We know Microsoft can buy these IP, and then you look at Nintendo; they don't have to put their games on PC. Now they would sell more games if they did, but they don't have to. They can sell 70 million units of a game over the course of 2 console generations. They could for $60 at that. You know, the competition can't do that. Very few third parties can do that.
And never drop the price, and nobody even complains about it. And the few
they won't.
Do we acknowledge it? They move on because we already know what it is. Like we just
it's not that they don't, is that they know that their complaints are futile. So it's like they know this, but Nintendo did a great job of holding the line, standing firm, standing pat, and not bending. Like even third parties, when quarterlies come up, they drop that price. When other competition comes around or the game's been out too long and they ain't moved enough, they drop that price. Nintendo could have dropped the price on Metroid Dread. They should have dropped the price on Metroid Dread.
They should have on that one. Yeah,
in my opinion,
that's one of the few on that they should have. Everything else I at least understand, but that one, they should have, but they didn't either. So there you go with that. But Kieran said a lot of good stuff that I think we both agree on, right? For like the casuals and stuff, it's cool. The price, I mean, they could have went as high as $450. I assume the OLED version will be that, right? But they kept it at $400.
Have they announced the price?
Well, they kept it at $400, which is the talking point.
When did they announce the price though?
I didn't see that either, but that's what he's saying. This is a lot of the talk is going on. We'll just have to see because everything else that we've known is and that everybody's been saying has been correct in the first place. So I'm just going with the flow. I wouldn't be surprised if it is $399. Well, are you questioning it? I understand you're saying.
Well,
I didn't see that either. You're right, but I'm saying.
Well, my thing is like 400 is low. 450 at least if they want to make some money. And Nintendo normally makes money on their hardware. And see when you set the ceiling low, then the floor is low, which is why the Switch never dropped in price. Like 300 was a low floor. Even the Series S drops in price.
Yes.
You know what I mean? When the PlayStation 5 Pro drops in price, the ceiling was already high. You know, that's why I think it's going to be a little over, probably 450, if not 500.
Oh, what Kieran is saying is just a leak and rumor. It's not confirmed, but so take it with a grain. So I agree. I believe it probably is $399. You probably do believe, but in terms of being official, no, they haven't said. But I would imagine later on they'll come out with the OLED that would be $450 if it really is $399. And another thing he said, which is also true, they confirmed the backwards compatibility. Now, a lot of people are making a bigger deal than I feel is necessary because they did know not everything is going to be backwards compatible. But we know how it is when it comes to backwards compatibility from anybody, right? Usually it's like 98%, 97%, and there's always these few exceptions that don't, for specific reasons that are exception to the rule. And a lot of people are making a bigger deal than that about that, and I feel is necessary. I'm sure it's just some select situations where it doesn't work out, stuff like that, right? Nothing too serious. I wouldn't imagine, right? Because this is just really an evolution of the same thing that they had before because they're using NVIDIA again. And so,
Yeah.
it's
There'll be
more
some random games, probably like ARMS or something like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
something that may not, the new sticks might not work the same way the old ones did.
Right. Oh, speaking of the sticks, so they did the same thing that the Lenovo Legion Go does, right? So that optical sensor, once we saw those leaks about a month ago and people started, to theorize what that could be, folks instantly realized, oh, that must be, to make like an optical sensor like you see in modern mice nowadays, right? And indeed, that's what it is. You see it in the video there when it's like sliding around, right? It's basically that. So it's really a spec bump. That's what this mainly is, right? It's slightly larger. I think the screen is 8 inches now instead of 7, right? They haven't said anything about the resolution. The specs we know from leaks, which is highly likely to be pretty much accurate, right? We've known about that since March last year or whatever, when Digital Foundry was doing their breakdown of the Tegra 239, I think it was, right? And so we'll see about all that stuff when they make their announcement officially on April the 2nd. But I guess besides all the leaks and everything that kind of took the wind out of their sails, and this is why I feel Nintendo is doing it now, right? Like a lot of people are giving credit to Nate the Hate, and I don't at all. You know why? Because we all knew this was going to happen sometime around now anyway. Like they were probably forced into it from all these people who were leaking all their business out there. Like I'm not giving Nate the Hate any credit, and for guys like MVG, a modern vintage gamer, right, to be giving credit to toxic jerks like this guy, like bro, you inflating their big heads, and their heads are big enough already. They need to be deflated with a giant needle somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like stop with all of that. But I mean, we don't really know any more than we already did, other than the fact that we're going to find out the real details April 2nd. And the one thing we saw was Mario Kart, which may have just been an upgraded version of like the current game we have now. But also Wolfston repeated a rumor that he saw based on what people are saying in the video of Mario Kart. If you notice at the starting lane, you see the little notch where everybody is supposed to take up their position. If you count all the positions that are available, there's 24 positions
15.
available. 15? I heard 24.
Yeah, I heard 15, and now there are 12. So that's why people say it's different. And
right.
and Donkey Kong look different.
And yeah, Donkey Kong looks different. But the game might be early, right?
It better not be. They had 20 years to get it ready, bro.
Yeah, they really did. 8, 12, something like that. Because even Mario,
bro, the game came out on the Wii U, right?
Yeah.
The Switch has been out for 7 years, at least 9 years, bro.
Yes.
So like, there's no way that game should be early. It should be a launch game.
It should be.
But like, yeah, I mean, he wants to talk about the Switch, but it's really nothing to talk about that we haven't already talked about.
Right.
It's possible that they might, give us the specs in April, and then we can start waiting on, nerds better than us to start to break down what the comp is for it. You know what I mean? I think that the PS4 Pro should be the baseline, right? And then have upscale it. But I don't know where the PS4 Pro compares to like a Steam Deck or an Ally.
Well,
you know what I mean?
In terms of the leaked specs that are out now, the memory on bandwidth is lesser than what's in the Steam Deck.
I know it's not going to compare to a Steam Deck that's selling for $700.
Well, no, the Steam Deck is like $399 and it's nearly 3 years
But
old. It's about to be 3 years
you're
old.
talking about the base level, right? The Switch. So if you want to compare it apples to apples, go the Switch compared to the 256 Steam Deck, because the Switch is supposed to have 256. So that
Right.
one is $600, right? How Nintendo doesn't take losses. It's not going to compare to a Steam Deck, but I don't know
No, I mean
how
in
to.
performance, not just because it's not just about price. You're just looking at price. That's not the only thing, and that's what I was saying.
Well,
I'm talking about
performance, price and performance is supposed to go together. That's why they do what price for performance.
I know, but doesn't mean it always does. But like, this is the third time I'm trying to say you're interrupting me this time for real.
You interrupted me in the
Damn.
first place,
Damn, let me
homeboy.
talk. Let me
Stop
talk.
trying. Hey, stop trying to call me out, man.
Damn, let me talk.
You always
You the one that like stumping on me, man.
you you said that. You said that. You always say that line, but no, I was speaking. But anyway,
Let me talk.
listen,
Let me talk.
Yeah. All right, check.
No, I'm
Go
just
ahead,
kidding.
you
That's
got
what he says.
all right. So what I was saying was the memory bandwidth. This is one of the points of contention from the leaks, right? That it's lesser than even what's in the Steam Deck. Now, the GPU wise, in and of itself, I believe is kind of superior to the Steam Deck. Now, the CPU, probably lesser. I don't really know one way or another. I'm not really sure, right? But in terms of the memory speed and bandwidth, it's lesser than the Steam Deck even. So it's just like, this is the new base minimum, but the other aspects we have to wait and see, right? Like, what's the resolution of the screen? Because the Steam Deck works on 800p. Is this going to be a 1080p? We assume because of the increased size of the screen, right? We really don't. There's so much we don't know. So when we find that out, then we could do that. But the stuff we do know says this is a new. Okay, the one thing as an Xbox fan, I'm going to be happy that stop trying to blame the Series S for everything, because we have a new low now, right? This thing is definitely
That's not
Series
gonna
S.
stop anything, bro.
It's not.
Not for the
Course
idiots.
But we'll soon see. Oh, of course not. Of course not. But we'll soon see, though.
But for us, we know better, right? We know that the
Yes.
Series S is not a problem. We've been saying that they're not fully utilizing the Series S this whole generation, right? Because the only well, see, that was even now that's first party, so you can't even really give them credit. But with what's the name of that game? Doom Eternal,
Mm-hmm.
where they were using VRS, VRR, the whole nine, right? Very many aren't doing that. That was supposed to be the beauty of a console that's a 720 1080p console that can run 1400 upscale, right? That was supposed to be the beauty of it, right? That's why I said I'm glad the PS5 Pro does come and give the PlayStation features that the Xbox has had since day one. So now they'll finally use the features that have been available on the Series X since 2020.
Burn.
But I wanted to ask you, Sick, do you have a OLED Switch?
No.
You don't have a
I
Switch at
never
all,
had a
do you?
Switch at all. I don't have a Switch at all.
Yeah.
No, I skipped that
No?
generation
That's-
entirely. Nope.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Okay, well, anyway.
I've tried it, but I don't own one.
Well, it's 720, and on the OLED, like, it's beautiful. You know what I mean? So I don't know if they if they should deviate from the 720 and 1080 docked that they have set up, already. Because if they get into the resolution thing, they'll be stuck in the same game that PlayStation Xbox is.
Well,
And even PC to an extent. Because the more I hear about the 50 series, the less impressed I am.
okay, you keep pausing, so I thought you were done. So
That's cool.
Say, the only thing I can say in response to that, because otherwise I agree, right, is when okay, my mic just reconnected. Anyway, I don't know if it broke up, but the only thing I can say in response to what you're saying about the resolution stuff is that they increased the size of the screen. But it behooves me to think they went up to 1080p with the display, right? I would presume that's what they did. Everybody expected that. I don't see why they wouldn't, but they're not going to go any harder than that. And plus, they have, this is NVIDIA hardware, so it's got a DLSS. So you imagine, the upscaling is going to be involved in anything, particularly when it comes to not so much the handheld, but probably in dock mode. But we'll see. Actually, which would be the more advantageous situation where DLSS would really get to shine in the handheld? Or would you say in in docked or in handheld mode? I mean, I'm presuming the screen is 1080p, right? I guess you would say, well, it's hard to say because
Probably handheld because you're supposed to be in a lower power state.
right. So then you need that more.
Oh,
DLSS,
and don't let that dock really contribute anything to the power. Then we're going to be
no,
really talking about the price. We don't
no,
know.
the only thing it's gonna do is like voltage. I think it's much like the last one, right? Where it's just like a dock. It charges as HDMI out. I don't think it's gonna do any more than that. It's not gonna have no horsepower and and Ethernet. Hopefully this time because the last one didn't have that, right?
No.
No,
Yeah.
the OLED did.
Oh, did it?
But the OLED dock did. Yes, that's right. The OLED dock did. So
Yeah, the
a
first
friend of
one-
mine,
Yeah.
his system broke. His Wi-Fi, like the chip in his Wi-Fi broke. Oh, my boy Wetworks. So I found him a dock where it has Ethernet, and so when you plug it into the dock, with USB-C, I guess it's getting networking through there. So basically, it's forever docked. If he's trying to play online, because the Wi-Fi is broken now.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Because he dropped it, and then that was the part that broke. Apparently, nothing else broke in it, but the Wi-Fi doesn't work anymore. So I was able to find a third-party.
Man, you can fix it. Do it yourself.
Hey, man. Hey, that's his situation. He's out there in Florida. I haven't seen him in a long time face to face. I haven't been in Florida in ages. Next time I go down there, yeah, I'm definitely gonna meet up with him and see what happens. Maybe I'll bring him a Switch too, because that's my boy like that. But I'm just saying that, like, I imagine the dock, they have the only difference is gonna be what really said that I'm gonna add Ethernet, right? But and then and once again they waited so long. See, this is why I brought up the GPU at the very beginning, how it's Ampere mobile, the 2050, right? Because the 20 series is Turing, except for the 2050, which is mobile, and that's Ampere, which is the next generation afterwards, the 30 series, right? And so that's the GPU supposedly that's in this chip, right? So it's the first generation of ray tracing and stuff, or is that the third? Second. No, the second generation of ray tracing stuff.
Second.
Yeah, the second. So DLSS won't be the 1.0 version either. And so all these things are going to come into play, which is what everybody assumes, right? Like they're sticking with NVIDIA. They have DLSS now in the intervening time when they came out with the first Switch. And now, okay, this is definitely something that we all expected them to have and to take advantage of, so they could punch further above their weight. But now it's been so long, once again, with this chip. This chip is already old in terms of what NVIDIA has on offer now, right? That last time, I always say this, they waited so long that last time when they launched the Switch, a year later, they did a die shrink from 20 nanometers to 16. And the power savings was allowed them to, number one, make the Switch light, right? And then a new version of the big Switch, like the regular size Switch, right? And they stopped making the original model, right? And they make a new model that had a better battery life, right? Because it was so late in the life of the chip that they decided to use, because that was the Tegra X1 that was already in the Shield TV. And supposedly the original Switch was a tablet that NVIDIA was going to make a successor to the Nexus 7 that they had back then. I believe that was a Tegra 3 or 4, right? And so they worked with NVIDIA and they adapted that into what we know as the Switch. So now this time, I've always been aware and I've always been saying that I'm thinking maybe the same thing is going to happen again. And so like a die shrink is almost like a year away because it's old tech on Samsung's 8 nanometer process, which is kind of old now, right? And so maybe within a year or so, we'll see an internal die shrink, and that'll be the time when they come out with the OLED, right? To keep it more cost effective. And maybe that'll be $429 or something instead of $450. We'll see.
Man, they're not gonna lower the price.
No, that's not gonna be a lower price. That's gonna be higher than the base. If the base is $399 and they do an OLED, but because they have a die shrink, it's costing them less money, right? Are they going? I see what you're saying when Nintendo is just going to keep that savings in their pocket, and that's definitely possible, right? And most likely, I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm just saying that we'll see. We'll see.
Well,
now,
the thing is, if it takes off like this one did, then yeah, they're gonna hold the line. But
right.
if it's not, then yeah, they might do what everybody else is doing and make it more attractive. But
Right.
I this time I know, they will break their history, but I think they're gonna do good.
Yeah.
Because the Game Boy always did well, and this is basically the Game Boy or DS, whatever you want to call it, their handheld.
I think the main
It
issue
just so
now is the
Mhm.
software. That's gonna be the main concern, right? And
What do you mean?
like, what are they gonna have on offer, right? What we discussed a lot of this last week, but I mean, okay, is it gonna be Metroid? Are we gonna get remasters of the last two Zeldas in higher
Mario
res?
Kart?
Yeah, we're definitely getting Mario Kart. Is Mario Kart enough for a launch game? I would imagine they need more than that. But
Mario
Mario
Kart
Kart sold
Deluxe.
70 million units, and the last
Yeah, go ahead. I'm not saying anything.
milking game, and then Zelda came shortly after.
Oh, your
No,
voice is breaking.
can
up.
you hear me?
Repeat what you were saying? Yeah, your
Yeah.
voice is breaking. I realized
I
that.
said,
now.
I said yes, more than enough. Mario Kart 8 sold 70 million units, and the last Switch only had the cow milking game, and Zelda came after that. So that's more enough. In addition to your Square Enix and Atlas games that are going to be there, there's a reason why they're not talking about Persona 6. Some of the Persona remakes, those didn't hit Switch. Those are going to be there at launch.
Well,
Can y'all hear me?
Kieran asked-
Yeah.
yeah. I'm pausing.
Okay.
Because, like, it seems you have a lag, and I'm trying not to speak over you. But Kieran asked a good
No,
question.
you can't, bro. I really don't be caring, bro. I'll fight y'all.
You be fighting, but sometimes I don't know if you be trolling or
He
not.
says,
I can't
he
tell.
asks, which one of you guys lining up to play Black Ops 6 crossplay on the Switch 2?
We only know one person. We all know this. Well, maybe not you, Tech. Games Hero.
Game Heroes.
That's the guy who's waiting to do that, right? But at the same time, like I said last week,
Look, I ain't gonna lie. If they let you shoot with those what do you call them? That might be a game changer, bro.
yeah, the mouse cons or whatever they're gonna call them, right? Oh, bro, imagine. Did you ever play Super Mario 2 on NES back in the day?
That was a long time
Come
ago.
on, man.
Come on.
Okay, remember that boss where it was like a mouse with sunglasses and he threw bombs, right?
Yep.
Imagine if they call these Joy-Cons some variation of his name, because his name was Mouser or something like that, right? And this is supposed to be like much like a mouse. If they come up with some kind of inventive name like that, right? So, like I said last week about Black Ops 6 potentially coming to the Switch 2, that serves two functions, right? Number one, it gets a development team up to snuff with the Switch on a game that's already done, right? It's more of a porting process instead of having to make a game in mind of the platform. We at least imagine that it'll be able to run it at, with the DLSS and everything, at an upscaled up to 1080p somehow, some way, and still be the complete game, right? We expect that, right? So that would be good. And then at the end of the year, when they come out with the next one, right, they'll be there day and date as well, right? Just like PlayStation and Xbox will be, and PC will be, right? So I could see that happening. Would I get a Switch 2 for that? Because I always said, if a Switch 2 was backwards compatible and they used that extra horsepower to make the original games run better, which you still don't know about any of this stuff. Like, Nintendo could hit out of the park with a lot of these details and not have a lot of software early on, right? But the software that's already out performs much better on this new system. Much like they do with the series on this generation with the Xbox games, right?
Yeah.
It runs older games at high resolution and frame.
Yeah, but this Nintendo sick.
Right.
Nintendo would rather sell it to you for $60. They're not gonna do you any fan service.
Right.
That's the one man. I really don't understand how they get away with this.
I complain about
You
that
can't
all
get
the
away
time.
with this.
Absolutely. And listen, I'm there with you, but at the same time, I never bought a Switch or any of these games. So for me, it's not a double dip. I never dipped in the first place. I said I'm gonna wait out this whole generation. Right?
Don't dip.
So now I could dip in if I feel the urge
dodge,
to, but I gotta see.
dive, and dodge.
I gotta see a couple of things here and there that they gotta do, right? Like it would be a first time. It's not like a double dip for me. I never dipped. Yeah, with that dodgeball reference. You know what I'm saying? Like
Dodge,
Patrick McCallaghan, he's drinking
dive.
his piss because it's warm and sterile, right? I'm sure, but hey, we'll see. We'll see. Nintendo has a lot of explaining to do on April 2nd, and it's not so much about the stuff we already know. It's about the stuff we don't know, right? About the backwards compatibility. Not that it is backwards compatible or not. We know that it is, but are they going to leverage the extra horsepower to get better performance, or will there even be a switch to go and just play it in original mode, right? So you extend the battery life on the go, right?
What?
They could give you that option, right? We don't know. Or will it just not improve the performance at all and just run, these games at whatever performance they had before? Because they did that with the GameCube games on the Wii and Wii games on the Wii U, right? Even though it was the same line of hardware with all three systems, right? It was just a faster version of what came before. You never got to take advantage of that performance. They locked the system into some kind of emulation mode that emulated the speed and performance of the previous system instead of taking advantage of that. So I could see that if they do that, I ain't with it, Nintendo. I'm not buying it. I'll just emulate your shit for free. I don't care. Like, I'm already didn't spend any money on your shit, but I mean, hey, it's an opportunity for them to show and prove. There's a lot of questions to be answered.
Listen,
A lot of questions.
Why do you care when you never even bought the first? Like, I could understand people being kind of burnt, but that's Nintendo. But you didn't even play the first one. Now, how big of a Nintendo fan are you, though?
But bro, this is what I'm saying. I've been there since the beginning of the Nintendo generation. When I say fuck Nintendo, it's not on some just like mindless hate, like I hate Nintendo. It's a hate and love at the same time type. Like they did us wrong all this time, and I never forgot, like ever forgot. When I was diehard with I was diehard as a Nintendo fan in the NES and Super Nintendo days, and when they came out with the N64, and clearly they left my generation for the generation before me, which I understood, but it's not like they supported my generation plus the generation that's coming up behind me, the younger players and stuff. It's like they dropped us wholesale and went and marketed it to them only, even though my age group now has the money to buy this stuff blindly and didn't even think to market to us as well, right? And they continue to do that, and now at a point many years later, they don't market to me at all, even though I still love Nintendo games. I would buy a lot of that stuff, but they don't market to me. And here's a chance for them to redeem themselves in my eyes. And then I'll be that meme from Futurama. Shut up and take my money. I want to be able to do, right? Yeah. I want to be like my boy Bing on Bird Kicker and be blindly in love with Nintendo all over again. That's up to Nintendo. I got the money. I'm here. Come shower me with gifts. I'm gonna shower you with money.
No, sir.
I don't know how they're gonna do it, bro. That's on them to decide. It's no hate on Nintendo, bro. That they need to do more than Metroid and some updated version of Mario Kart, right?
Damn, they're gonna have Bluetooth this time. Damn.
They better have some. Yeah, there's a lot of things they didn't do right the first
time. You want to know something crazy? Hmm? The Switch had Bluetooth day one.
It did, but they didn't use it the way it should have, right?
No. They didn't use it at all, right? But see, the thing is we allow them to get by with doing half-ass efforts. Like, and we're hard on PlayStation and Xbox. Yeah. Like, dude, that Bluetooth where you can use your headphones, it was there from day one.
Mm-hmm.
But all they had to do was unlock it. Right. But then again, it's kind of like, the same way I was on PlayStation 5 in the beginning of the generation, they rushed the thing out. And so there was a lot of things that weren't ready, right? Same thing but see, PlayStation really didn't have a reason to rush theirs out. Nintendo did, because they were trying to make us forget about the Wii U.
Right.
You know what I mean? They dumped the Wii U in the middle of the generation. Kind of like when with Mario 2, you brought it up. Bro, Nintendo wants to act like that never happened. You know what I mean? Because that really wasn't a Mario game.
Right.
It was something that they took from another game and just made it Mario.
Yeah.
But they need to everything. I'm not in a rush to get it. We talked about this last week. I'm not in a rush to get it. I'm not a big Mario Kart person, but if enough people in the community challenge me, like Game Heroes, Beats of Truth used to always try to challenge in Mario Kart, and I don't know if y'all know him, but
He said
Sticks.
you're trying to challenge everybody about anything.
Who
No,
that?
but like, no, beats the truth. But I mean, like,
Well,
we
I
just
mean,
watched
I
the
will.
video
I will
yesterday.
too. I
Yeah.
will too. I mean, I've taken many losses. I don't care.
Right.
Like shit. Some of these cats have more time to sit around learning these games, but if I own it, I'm gonna play it.
Yeah.
I'll play it. Like my boy Tarkulus, he kicked my ass 90 times out of 100, and I kept coming back. You're either gonna kick my ass until I learn how to play it, or you're gonna run away when I start to get the hang of it. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Oh,
Bro,
wow.
we played
That's good gaming.
what's the name of that game, bro? What's the name of that game
I don't know.
that was the fighting game that wasn't on? It's always been on PlayStation, but this one is the first one. It's a Japanese game.
Fighting
Man,
game?
yeah, it's a fight game. It was always on PlayStation, and it's made by Arc,
Oh, Guilty Gear.
Guilty Gear. Like, dude, I was playing the hell out of that game. That is the hardest fighting game to try to learn how to play. I don't know. I know y'all probably haven't played it, but bro, I picked the worst game to try to get back into the fighting genre on.
Yeah.
Like
so,
that game, there's just so much to it. Go ahead.
Karen's in the chat here. He's saying the Switch is the John Cena of gaming, and I know exactly what he means by my response. Right? Everybody hates on him, but he's one of the best of all time. Right? And John Cena, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like about to pass that PS2 in all-time sales, and Sony is so shook that they have to up their numbers to 160. Right?
Yeah, we
like
just
160,
kidding. It's 180.
Yeah. Right? Like on some, they shook. They
He's joking.
shook. They shook. They shook as hell. You feel me? So love to see
All right.
that. But overall, like what you said, Realist, I'm that guy. Like I forget exactly how you said it. I should have paid more attention to remember that part, what you said, because I would have said that's
What?
me, and that's why I never bought the Switch. Like I know the shit they did, and I held them accountable, and that's why they never got a dime of my money, right? But I'm willing to say, and I said from then, right? Like I'm saying now, if they show improve by their actions with this system, right? That they learned from the criticism that I and others had, right? And you see the changes in this new system, I'm down to buy it. But the onus is on them to do it. If they do right, I'm buying. If they don't, fuck Nintendo again. I ain't with it. I'll be three Nintendo generations in a row that I don't fuck with them. And I won't. Period. The last time I really had anything Nintendo was a 3DS, which I love. Oh, it's right
Did
here.
DS
I got a
mean
drawer
something?
full of games.
Dual
Dual
screen.
screen.
Oh, is that
Dual
what I
screen.
meant? Okay.
Yeah. And so I had the 3DS, right? Boink the Clown. Boink, Dink, Wink. Oh, you mean Doink the Clown.
Doink.
Doink the Clown. There you go. That's PlayStation for you, man. So yeah, let's talk about PlayStation because ooh, man. Hey, yo. Woo. You know, it's like that.
Sony cancels 2 more PlayStation projects.
Mm.
Woo!
And one of them was a live, or they were both live service games.
Both live.
And one of them was a live service God of War game. Who the
God
fuck
of War.
wanted that?
Yeah,
Like, who
God
the
of
hell
War.
wanted that? I'm so tired of this stupid cap with these
What was-
more, like, oh my God. I always say, and I always ask you, Realist, right? And I always feel like, number one, I'm not getting my question across because it's more of an emotion than anything else. But at the same time, there's a lot of logic to it, right? And I heard what you said, and you've never been wrong in what you said in response, and others have said, right? But I'll say it again. I feel like so many
Somebody's
people in
watching
this industry,
me.
so many people in this industry and indeed many others. So it's not just the video game industry, right? Where the people at the top seem not to know anything that they're doing. They don't know the business they're in,
No.
right? And so it's like, I swear, there's an amount of cocaine on their table, and they're sniffing, and they're like,
Damn.
and they don't know. And
The
they
White
thought
Horse?
a God of War. Hey man, I don't know who, how much how much of this booger sugar you got to snort to think a God of War live service game was the move, bro? What the hell? The problem is they have
there's gonna be a bunch of Kratos like running around,
right? Yeah, and Karen says it right. The challenge is live service. We understand that's the challenge, and we understand they're doing that and why they're doing that. We're not knocking that, but the stupid ideas are dumb AF. Like a God of War live action, a live service game, and we don't even know what the other one was, right? But we do know one of the other ones that they canceled was that Spider-Man DLC, and we was all legals on podcast. I think a day or two before it was announced that it got leaked out. And we were imagining all the stuff they could do with a Spider-Man game, tied in with the Spider-Verse movies that they have. Those 2 fantastic movies. We can't wait to see that third one, right? And they just like, holy crap, how you messed that up. And it's just like, you don't understand. So it's like, yo, I feel like Cat Williams, when I look at these PlayStation fanboys who were talking all this shit in the past couple days, well, y'all shouldn't been talking shit, right? And then Concord, the biggest flop ever. You ain't talking about E.T. E.T. made money. They sold a lot of copies.
E.T. made money
because of E.T. E.T. made money. Don't get it twisted. Like, bro.
Titty twister.
Bro. Yeah, I was watching that movie the other day, From Dusk Till Dawn, by the way. So yeah, the titty twister. You remember that? Oh my God. Oh my God, what a bar, huh? I'd love to go. I would never love to go there. Oh damn. But
not after dark.
Yeah, not after dark. Maybe in the daytime when Sofia Vergara is there, even in her mid-50s.
Damn.
Yeah, so she's fine as hell. But anyway, but I'm saying though, like, yo, Sony does, like, really, Sony? How do you mess up a situation where you have fanboy, even in this era of this bad news? These dudes blindly cap for you, make excuses for you on a daily basis so hard that the actual winners.
Those 25 live games that they announced years ago really went down, didn't it?
Yeah, 12 or whatever, right? They have SOCOM, Twisted Metal, but instead, this is what they do: Spider-Man Horizon, and then Shuhei Yoshida has an interview with Kind of Funny, and he dunking on them because he can speak freely now, right?
Yeah.
He said that Horizon 2 sold better than Spider-Man, right? When they asked him about
Helldivers 2.
I'm sorry, Helldivers 2. I'm sorry, Helldivers 2, right? Horizon 2 didn't even do all of that, right? From the way he was talking, and then
Helldivers and Horizon underperformed.
Horizon underperformed. That's what it was. I'm sorry, I keep saying the wrong name, so thanks a lot.
You good, bro? I'm just helping.
He's like, I got you.
I know, I'm thanking you for that because I'm messing up. But at the same time, when they asked him about the PSVR 2, he's quick to change the subject. Like, I don't want to talk about that. That's not a good look, bro. And shout out to Beast the Truth when he was in the space that day with that one pony. As soon as we talking about how the PSVR 2 was a failure, and this was before they announced that they're going to make it PC compatible.
I even forgot that thing is still out.
Right? And then there was that one dude who came yelling at us like, "What do you know?" Bro. Shuhei Yoshida, who can talk freely, doesn't even want to talk about. That's how much of a black eye it is. It's like, yo, Sony, like, yo. And then they have a roadmap for movies, no roadmap for games. And then somebody asked Jason Schreier about, the situation now. How bad does their outlook and their roadmap in the future look? It's pretty bad if they had to cancel this many of the live service games. We understand why they're doing live service games. We're not against that, but bro, they keep canceling them. How many are left to even potentially profit from? They only had one success out of all of them, and that's Helldivers 2. That's not going to make up all the other losses. Then we go on day and day PC. He's right. They will be releasing games on Nintendo and Xbox, and they're going to have Nintendo and Xbox games on their system the day Game Pass comes to PlayStation. Now, I've been saying this since last generation. That's basically them waving the white flag. They're getting our games already, and they're making us as Microsoft fans money because that funds Game Pass that we will pay for, and don't have to pay for the games.
See,
right? So it's just like Sony better figure out their shit, Ricky fucking tick, because they're not like Microsoft who could weather bad mistakes for this long. But yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Sony has figured out their problems. They just don't know how to execute. You know, we've been saying these things. They kind of cast us aside. Oh, you're just a Xbox fan or whatever. But PlayStation is being attacked, not just from Xbox. Xbox is being hit by the same, I guess, arsenal, right? Which is live service. Marvel Rivals is on everything. Fortnite is on everything. And it's choking off these first party games. And this is what I said, and this is what Beast and I we had a space about it before. Nintendo doesn't have that same pressure. You know what I mean? Like once they allow all these games that are coming, they want Call of Duty. They want, I guess, a part of it is faith in their own IP, but to a greater degree, it affects Microsoft and Sony because they spent more time building up third party than first party. But PlayStation they're trying, right? I would love to make fun of them like what everybody else does, but I can't because they're doing what I've been criticizing them for years, which is doubling down on their own IP, building up their own IP, sticking to their own IP, and not killing it off. Now, maybe they picked the wrong one in Horizon. I think that Horizon is a decent game, but I don't think that it resonates with the majority of people. Most people don't want to think, which is why Nintendo games go over well. It's like it's a game you just pick up and play. Call of Duty games you just pick up and play. Fortnite you just pick up and play. There's no real story. There's no real thought behind it. You just pick up and play. Marvel. Ooh, I get to play with Spider-Man. I get to play with Venom. Fly around. Cool. That's what the gamers are into. Whereas Sony did have an audience, but they finally realized what we've been saying this whole time. IGN, Metacritic, OpenCritic, they don't pay the bills. Game Awards don't pay the bills.
Nope.
If you can win all the Game Awards you want, and if people aren't buying the games, it doesn't matter. You can have all the nominees you want, right? You can have all the nominees you want, and Balatro still outperforms your game. You see what I'm saying? It just there's no science behind what people were going to gravitate to. It just isn't. Vampire Survivors. You know what I mean? There's no science. So what PlayStation understands is that they don't control their platform. They basically have a third-party platform, and nobody is there for, not nobody, but very few people are there for what they provide, right? When you look at the Microsoft's top play game, when you look at Steam's top play game, you look at Nintendo's top play, they don't do a top play game, but you can see their sales, and you can see the games that are selling when you go to their storefront. You can see it's Nintendo games, right? But when you look at PlayStation, it's third party. And and it's like when people bring up a cat like Nib, I got him on mute, but I see him through everybody else's interactions. Right. He always uses the word chart, right? Yeah, a game can chart, but you don't understand what chart means if you think that's some type of win. Because when a game first releases, it better chart because it's going against games that have already been around.
Yeah.
The fact that a Nintendo game 10 years later can chart, that's a big deal because it shows that people are still buying it at 15,000, 10,000 a week, which is good. But PlayStation, look, you can tell Jim Ryan had the get it done attitude because anybody can tell you that a God of War live service game is going to be difficult to execute and even more difficult to make interesting. You know what I mean? Same thing with Horizon. That's the problem with single player games. I've been saying this, bro. Then, like, we always hear Xbox people or PlayStation people say that Xbox needs to make games like PlayStation. No, PlayStation needs to make games like Xbox.
Like Xbox. Thank you.
Because we're gonna see, and I said, this is what we're gonna see what they're really made of when they try to get into the multiplayer game. Because at that time when I said it, you had Ghost of Tsushima Legends. It came out like a year after the game was out. You had the co-op portion of Returnal come out a year after the game came out, and we're sitting around listening to people complain about Halo that came with a multiplayer, came with a co-op. Forge was coming. Like, I don't understand why people don't see what's really going on. But I just don't see a way out for PlayStation. I don't see how they fix it.
No.
You brought up that they're getting away from gaming. You know, they're trying to make cars. They're trying to look. They see what's happening, and I don't think that they want to fight. They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose the console stronghold in a minute. It's gonna take some years because when I said this, when the ABK deal was going and legal's show, and they all like, nah, get him out of here. I said, man, Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty is not just going to magically turn this thing in Xbox favor. They're not going to just get 50,000 subscribers the first year that it's in Game Pass. It's going to take time. People are going to have to see that I can get this on Xbox. Look at the guy, Eli, the Brit, right? The guy who just left PlayStation. He's
the Bronx.
He is not unique. There are so many people over there and in Africa that never would think of to play anything other than a PlayStation.
That's all they know.
That paradigm has to shift. They have to start looking elsewhere. Look, the PlayStation is very poor right now. Like that, like I don't understand why people would come to Twitter and not see it. Like it doesn't matter how many console units they sell, they're not putting out any games. And if they do put out games, they're not games that you want to play. But one of the things I want to address that you said earlier, that Spider-Man game. You see how much they have to pay for just a single player Spider-Man. How much do you think they'd have to pay for a multiplayer Spider-Man game? You know what I mean? It's like that it needs to have 400,000 people playing, like Marvel Rivals. It needs to have those types of numbers so that you can pay the mouse to make it all worthwhile. It's a free to play game.
Going to have his money day one, and if not, bro, it ain't even gonna be a deal.
Yeah, and then when it comes to PlayStation, they don't. To me, the deal says that we don't really even want you to have it, but if you can do this John Wick impossible task, you go ahead and use it.
Yeah, because we get,
you know what I mean,
paid one way or another. It don't matter to us like that.
Yeah, so I see why they're getting rid of some games and why they're trying with some games. It's better to try to do it with your own IP. You're not beholden to anybody. This is what I've been saying about Xbox and Phil Spencer, why everybody's wanting Phil Spencer or Xbox to go rent IP from WB or Marvel or Disney, which is the same company. They'd rather not do that when you have a whole host of your own IP to build on. So when you hear,
I just want to add what you said real quick.
Go ahead.
Real quick line about what you just said there about having to rent all these IPs. They literally tell us this in interviews. Phil Spencer has sat there and said it in plain English.
Yeah.
Please continue.
No, the last thing I was gonna say is let me think about it. Oh, when you have Disney, now the word is Disney said we want more. Do you think that you're gonna get more favorable terms, or you're gonna get those Sony stick it to you terms? You see what I'm saying? It's better when they come to you. You know, when they put out that was probably going to be a one-off, because that was pretty much, we know that Bethesda was in trouble. Bethesda wasn't going to commit to multi-games, especially the Indiana Jones. I know I wouldn't.
Right.
But if the sales are as impressive as what's being put out there, in these, I guess, think pieces, then yeah, they're going to get favorable terms and they're going to have a better relationship, instead of what I feel like is like, we don't want you to have it, so you do this or you can't have it. What they have with Sony, dude, it's to the point to where Sony, if they put it in a bundle, they have to pay more. If they sell physical, they have to pay more. Like they really made it difficult for them to hit their numbers. But that's all I wanted to say about that. But I think PlayStation is trying, but I don't think they have an answer. What Xbox has been doing for the past 20 years, mastering multiplayer, PlayStation is late, and they brought in Bungie, who Microsoft pretty much squeezed every drop from to save them. And I don't think that's the answer. I see Marathon not being as bad as Concord, but I don't see it doing much.
Yeah, and Marathon is about almost as old as Doom. Like in reaction to Doom on the Mac side, came Marathon back then, right? If you were a Mac dude, you didn't have a PC, and you saw Doom and you were jealous of that, right? Like eventually you got Marathon, and that was your shit. And there was like I think two of them, I think, right? And in many ways you see the the originality and everything, and you see how that's like a predecessor to what we enjoy with Halo, right? And it's crazy. And FYI, Tech, when we get into the next subject on Warhammer, I pasted two things in our group chat that will be relevant. So I mean, it just is what it is. Like, once again, I just feel like they do not understand the business they're in. Because we as gamers, as soon as we hear, look at the reaction, right? To the fact that it was a God of War game, right? Okay. The first reaction to this news was they canceled another two of these live service games, and then it was one of them was a God of War game. Who the fuck wants a God of War game, right? We all know, we all speak in unison. It doesn't matter if you're PlayStation or Xbox, right? The only PlayStation dudes who are not saying that are the ones who are in denial, and that's not a river in Egypt, right?
Damn.
Like, they know what it is, right? We all thinking it's just like when it came to Spider-Man DLC. We all dreamed about that. It didn't matter if you were PlayStation, PC, or Xbox. We were talking about that on Legal Show, and that's a den of Xbox. And I remember when Fratanga took a shot of us in that, right? And then posted it up in his chat in his Twitter account on, look what this stupid Xbox are talking about. But had he actually listened to what we were saying, we were like, this is what we want in a multiplayer Spider-Man game. It would be awesome, right? Put it on PlayStation and PC. We probably will rock the PC one, right? And play that. That would be awesome. That's what we were saying then, right? And to come to find out they were actually working on one, and then the leaked video makes it seem like everything we asked for word, right? You go listen to that podcast and you'll see. This is what we were talking about, right? And they canceled it. Like, you canceled that, but you put money into Concord that everybody with a unified voice on first appearance was like, fuck no, we don't want that. Why the fuck are you doing this stupid?
But Sick, they bet on themselves. Sick, like how I don't. Did you read the Fidelity leaks where Jim Ryan went to Fidelity, which is one of their major investors, to tell them how Activision, how Bungie would present more value to them than at $3 billion and Activision at 70 for Microsoft, and how expect to see every one of their major IP in a live service game. Did y'all think that was a lie or something? He can't lie to investors. So I'm not shocked that it existed. And from the time I read that, I was wondering how would they execute that? Like, how would they make that make sense, and how would they make that a good game? But I'm not mad at them for betting on themselves. I'm not disappointed in them for betting on themselves. But maybe I don't see how they could have made it, man. But I mean, they pay those people to be creative enough to make a game that makes people interested.
Well, okay. This I can answer very specifically. What I'm saying is, it's not about the fact that they're doing live service or anything like that. It's their choices of what they're doing, right? They take the one thing that's everything we wanted, and then they cancel that, as well as canceling some shit that nobody wanted, right?
But it's not theirs.
Okay, one was theirs, and they canceled that too.
Which one?
The God of War thing.
Concord.
Concord made it to market though.
But that was my point. As soon as you jumped in to say what you were saying, right? What I was about to say when you interrupted me to say what you said was, as soon as they presented Concord, before the presentation was even over, that even before they announced that it wasn't a free-to-play game or whatever, right? Before that happened, if you were watching that live stream, or you go back, if the chat archive is there, which I doubt it is, right? Because they're trying to sweep that under the rug. I was watching it live. Everybody was like, no, what the F is this? We don't want this, blah, blah, blah. The gaming community of all allegiances, PlayStation, Xbox, PC,
nobody wanted
whatever.
It, man.
Nobody wanted that game.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted that game, That's
Because
what I'm
everybody
saying.
thought it was like more of a single player game that was in 1980s kind of vibe and
yeah.
in space, and that's what I thought. I thought it was going to be.
Oh no! I mean Concord, not. Oh, you're talking about Intergalactic. Intergalactic has been more of some positive, mostly negative. Concord was all negative before the video was even done presenting, the game itself, and then to mention the fact that it was going to be not a free to play game.
Yeah.
Right. Like we already knew this off rip. Like, and people were already reacting to it negatively as it's being shown to the world. That's how out of touch they are, that they don't seem to understand or get what anybody wants. Not just PlayStation heads, everybody said in a unified voice, fuck no to that. Right? And that's what the problem is. They don't get it at all. They don't seem to understand. It's like when I think it was Shuhei himself who said back in the early days of the PS4, he doesn't even know why it's selling so well. Back then I realized this. They don't know what the fuck they're doing, and I don't think they ever did. I don't think they ever did, bro. And I think we done beat this
It's just writing on name recognition. I was like, oh, it's a PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Tech, did you have any thoughts about this whole live service thing and PlayStation?
I mean,
being lost in the sauce.
So they had one game that just went balls to the wall, right? Helldivers 2, which was completely unexpected when it hit, right? Mm-hmm. So now, they see that one, they're like, all right, let's just start pumping them out, and they just fail and like don't even think about it, right? They think they're just gonna hit on another one just by random success, and it just doesn't happen. And they don't think it's like, let's plan this out better, right? Instead of just like, well, let's just throw it out there and let's see what sticks. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
But that's what they have to do, though. Like when you have an initiative, because there's some games that people have forgotten about. Every time I'm gonna have to go look at their old what are they called? State of the game, whatever.
State of play.
Look at state of play.
I'm
gonna have to go look up that old one because I watched it. They got a Diablo clone coming out, and it's gonna get clobbered. It's gonna get clobbered by Diablo. It's gonna get clobbered by what is it? No Rest for the Wicked and Path of Exile. All those are gonna kill.
But how many is gonna take for them to fail to realize that, you know what? Let's just stick to what we know. And those are the single player.
But they can't because live service games are choking them off. That's what I keep saying. Like Sick, you keep saying what you're saying, but they gotta try to get a hit somewhere.
I'm not saying don't try, but these are not the
ones they got to. But see, you say you don't want it. I say I don't want it. PlayStation fans say they don't want it. But when it comes out and it's good, or the right streamer gets a hold of it, the only thing that separated Concord from being a winner or a loser is that not enough people liked it. But let's just say that people liked it. Like nobody expected Helldivers to just blow up like it did. Yeah, it was always a PC game for the past, decade, and PC players were happy to hear about it. It was more of a PC game than a PlayStation game to begin with, right?
Okay, well, to say the answer to that, right? I'm gonna give an. Had you asked me if I was at Sony and I had to choose, right? You present to me 3 options. Which one I'm not gonna do, right? And not knowing the reaction that they had, not knowing what I know now, right? Back then, and it was up to me. And the 3 games, right, are Concord, Helldivers, and a God of War live service game, right? If I have to cancel one of the 3, I'm canceling the God of War without a second thought. Because that doesn't even make sense to make, right? At least Concord made sense. It just was instantly rejected off bat. But at least I could see why they thought it could have been, right? That I could see. Helldivers, no one expected it to blow up like it did, right? But no one could have looked at that and not knowing anything from back then, right? And been like, oh, that's a stupid idea. But the God of War, that's a stupid idea. I don't need to, everybody understands. That's the reaction. That's my point. Like, they don't understand that. I understand that. You two understand that. Gamers understand that. Sony doesn't, and I feel that's the problem, and that's the point I'm trying to make. Everything else
And
is
that's
saying,
the bottom
Okay.
line.
But look at it. God of War is not just about Kratos.
Right.
It has other gods, right? We don't know what kind of game it is. Let's say it's a Smite competitor, right? Even though the hardcore ponies don't want to play it, but all their service games are probably going to be on Xbox too now. They're already on PC, and then you have a Smite competitor made by Sony. You see what I'm saying? Like you gotta try. We don't know what the game was made of.
Right.
We don't know what kind of game it was. We don't know if it was a arena fighting. We don't know if it was mobile. We don't know anything.
You
But
really don't.
if it, let's just say it was a MOBA and it was a Smite competitor, it's still late to the party. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's the problem that they're encountering. So my thing is, they should keep trying. They have to keep trying.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I
you
agree
sit
with you
back and you look at
110%.
you sit back and look at the industry. 2 years ago, I came on everybody's show that had me on, and I said, people keep saying that the gaming industry is so healthy, but it's not. It's
Nope.
super top heavy. The
Mhm.
majority of the money is being made by a few games, and they credit it to the whole of gaming. While you got all these games out here dying, and a lot of games that people don't even hear about or know that it came out. You know what I mean? Because there's a game, Shoulders of Giants. I played it. Legal convinced me to get it, and then left me unstuck. Never played it with me, right? But it was a solid game that nobody even knew existed. You guys probably never heard of it.
No,
Like,
Never even heard of it.
Nope.
Not even.
you see what I'm saying? But there are so many games like it that come out and just disappear into the ether. But we don't know what the game was made of. They have to. But to me, the game that should never have been canceled, the game that if they had to get another team in there, Last of Us faction should never have been canceled.
Yes.
Because
Agree with you once again.
they already had a solid base from the first game.
Yes, they did that multiplayer on the original game. Yes.
Yeah,
Very
this is
original,
my first PlayStation, so I didn't play it back when it was new. But what I did play, I didn't have problems getting into a match, and it was a solid game.
Mhm.
You know, they had a base, they had a fan base, they had a game base, and they should have built from that.
It was
But they
inventive,
canceled it.
new, original, in concepts and
Well,
everything.
and it's theirs.
Yes.
That's
Everything.
that's the thing that I think that I know that they're looking at. They've said it on so many occasions. They need to build what's theirs. Everybody, I said, Xbox is looking at Nintendo, PlayStation is looking at Nintendo. What has Nintendo done the best? Build their IP to the point to where when Mario comes out, it makes $1 billion. When Uncharted comes out, it's on Netflix a month later. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference.
Mhm.
When Halo comes out, right, it does good the first season, but then Paramount says it's done, right? Microsoft should have done a better job building that out. What they did was I believe they rested on their laurels with the hardcore fan base.
Yes, I would say
But
so.
but they have an opportunity, especially now. You got a winner with Fallout. You know what I mean? You got a good partner in Amazon. They're bringing in the big dogs to because I did some research on the people who are behind Fallout on Amazon.
Mhm.
I don't know if y'all watch it. I think you watch it, Tech.
Yep. I
But-
saw it. It's good.
But yeah, Doom. You know, Bethesda had The Rock back in the past. If this Doom takes off, this will be a good time to start talking about movies and things like that.
Yes.
But you have to build your own IP, and that's what I see PlayStation trying to do. I know you guys are like, we don't want it, but maybe it's not for you. But they need a live service hit. Microsoft has like 5. They got Call of Duty. They got Call of Duty on cell phones, Call of Duty on everything. They got Halo on PC, Xbox. No matter what they say, no matter how dead they call it, it's still breathing. Right?
Mhm.
They have Grounded. You can go look up the player count on Grounded right now and see how many people are playing it on Steam, and that's just Steam. Go look up what's the name of that Sea of Thieves?
Sea of
10,000 people every day playing that. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they got service games coming or out that are
already.
populated.
Yeah.
And PlayStation has nothing outside of Bungie. But Bungie was there, and the money from Bungie's or Destiny has already been made. So they got to keep trying. They got to keep putting their IP out there. They got to keep trying to get people invested in what they do. That's why I'm not mad at them for trying. And that's why I'm not going to say, oh, it was stupid to start a God of War, because we don't know what it was. Because I don't know if y'all have played Spite, but if you played Spite, it's basically all the gods together in an arena. That's a MOBA.
Are you saying spite with the P or smite with the
I'm
M?
saying I'm saying Smite.
The smite.
With
Okay.
a M.
SMIT. It's only one game.
Yeah.
That's a MOBA with the gods. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then now Smite 2 is about to drop.
Mm-hmm.
So if they were trying to rival Spite or Smite, yeah, they have been saying Spite. Smite.
I'm sorry.
If they have been trying to rival Smite, they're too late. That's their problem. That's why factions. It wasn't that damn funny. That's why.
Yes, it was.
That's why factions shouldn't have been canceled.
It tickled him the right way, bro. It tickled him the right way.
Let me
it's
laugh.
cool.
Let me laugh.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
let's
all
laugh.
you do.
That's what I do.
Oh my god.
That's good.
But listen. I'm not trying to go back and forth with you, but I just feel like, okay, maybe. Okay, so I just want to say,
Back and Brad.
I get what you mean, and I agree, but what I don't think you understand from what I'm saying is, I'm not saying all of this, because it's for me, right? Like, I'm not into League of Legends or Smite or anything like that, but I know enough to know that those games are very popular. It don't have to be for me, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't know what the God of War game was. But that would have been the one of the three, right? That if I had to drop one, not knowing anything else, just the same way from what I knew back when they announced them to back then, right? And to decide off what I knew, which was nothing, right? Not knowing what I know now about how Concord was the biggest failure ever, and how Helldivers was a complete surprise and very successful until they almost fucked it up and then fixed their situation, right? And got their numbers right back to where it was originally. Because that's literally what happened. All their numbers came back, right? And then now it's lower now, but that's more natural, right? Like they literally got back all their numbers back after they reversed their policy that pissed people off, right? Everybody came back because it happened pretty quickly, right? But yet and still, I know that the God of War game wasn't it, no matter what kind of game it is. And it doesn't have to be for me, but I understand gaming. I've been doing it for over 40 years. These motherfuckers don't understand the industry they're in, and that's my point. They can't pick and choose what it is. It doesn't have to be for me. And I'm not saying I'm trying to say that like I don't understand. I know that wasn't what you're trying to say, but I just want to make it clear that I feel I understand more than them. The gamers understand more than them. And that's what I feel is truly the problem. Not the fact that I'm not saying this is not the way to go. This is definitely the way to go. But they are choosing the wrong ones to go with. That's my main issue. That's it. Otherwise, I agree with everything else you said, bro, because you ain't said a damn thing wrong. Period.
Well, no, I'm not saying you disagree and that I disagree with you. And I'm gonna leave this alone after this. But like, it's just that so many people say what you say, which is they shouldn't do it. And I know why the hardcore ponies don't want them to do it. But
right. That's different.
When they release a game and it sells 1.5 million, when they release a game and the only way it's sold is because they bundled it, capitalizing off the console's momentum versus the game's momentum. That's the only reason why Horizon sold the way it sold. Like when they put a game out and people would rather go play Call of Duty, things like that. That's what they're looking at. And I said this a long time ago. They see this, and I said, man, we might not like gaming. We might not like gaming in the future because everybody's going to be trying to capture these live service audiences. But luckily, Microsoft came up with Game Pass, a way that games can be cultivated. What's the word that they like? Organically, right? And they don't have to sell 50 million units to be considered a success because the service sustains them.
Right.
Because
making that residual on them checks every month. They still come in.
But
like
exactly. And PlayStation doesn't have that. Nintendo, people bought the console to play the games. So their games are selling. Xbox and PlayStation's games, people didn't like me adding Xbox into this, but they have the same attachment rate with lesser consoles. You know what I mean? People are buying these consoles to play the same games. That's why it really didn't make any sense for us to have as many consoles as we do. And the only thing you could do is buy exclusivity from one from one away from the other. But I think they have to keep trying, man. I don't know what the game was, and I really hate it for them. Not that I was ever going to play it, but I hate it for them that they canceled factions, because that was the one thing that they had that could have been different in the market. Because the reason why I see them continuing to fail is because they are just following trends, and these trends take them 6 years to duplicate, 8 years to duplicate.
And they
in
finally
the case
come
of,
out and they wonder why they failed.
Yes.
Well, they don't wonder why they failed. They know why they failed. These people are smarter than us. They make more money than us. They know why they're failing. They just hope that it works despite of all of their shortcomings. They know why it failed. They know exactly why Concord is the biggest failure in gaming. They know.
Do they though?
Oh yeah,
Do
they.
they?
Now, what they also should have known is that it was gonna fail, and they did themselves no favors with the character models and gay robots. They should have known that.
Yeah.
Hey.
But they doubled down on it. But yeah, let's definitely move on.
Hey.
I guess we want to talk about the Warhammer thing.
Well, let's jump back just a little bit back on the Switch 2 thing, because they are going to have a hands-on event here in Dallas. So Kieran, sign up for your tickets, man. It's a free event as long as they pick you. I think it's going to be some sort of lottery system. They're gonna have, and it's going to be at the Fair Park area down in, like, not South Dallas, but it's kind of like southeast, it's still near downtown. It's not too far from downtown. So it's coming soon. So tickets or registration is open tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central. So I'm gonna try to not forget this and score some tickets and see how many I can get. And
I'm a register too then.
Yeah, register, man. So this is the event happens here the 25th. So when is that? That's a weekend. It's gotta be a weekend.
It was when is the Xbox showcase? Or is it April or January?
Tomorrow is when the registration starts, but the event is actually April 25th, the weekend of April 25th.
It don't matter. I can set up to be off.
Okay, well, if this Nintendo event is a hands-on event April 25th, right?
Yeah.
And they're making the announcement April 2nd. I would imagine then of course the console comes out sometime after.
After that, yeah. It'll be before the holidays, yeah.
Right. So it'll be.
You think it's gonna be fourth quarter?
I don't see why not. I mean, you got to get the hype up, and I mean, I know it hypes on its own. It's just standalone. It's just standalone, but still.
Oh no, I was thinking maybe a couple weeks after but then
after
maybe
this,
not, maybe summertime.
Oh.
Maybe a couple weeks after that event in Dallas, right? Oh, because it's not just Dallas; it's also New York and I think LA or something.
Yeah.
They're doing 3 events, right? All at the same time.
Well,
in
no,
New York,
it's a 1 weekend each.
Okay.
Yeah.
In 3 different places.
3 different places.
So I was thinking maybe a week or 2 after that, but you guys are talking about like the holidays. But I'm thinking maybe the summertime.
I'm thinking it's gonna drop in the summertime. That's perfect for kids.
That would be perfect for kids. That's why I would think that. But you're telling me no, or are you agreeing? Your voice kind of.
I agree with no. I don't. I agree that it's gonna come not too far away from when they start to actually put out all the information. I think I've been listening to, like, some leaks I take and some leaks I delete. Right. Where they say that it's been ready and they're stockpiling to combat scalping.
Yes.
And they want to have a release not too far away from when they announce it.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they put it out. I wouldn't be surprised if they put it out in May or June. It doesn't make sense.
Right. Yeah, then that's what I'm thinking. When you guys were saying, "Oh, the holidays," I'm like, that sounds like, why would they do that when they're doing all this stuff?
I mean, when I consider the holidays, I'm saying like October, like right before, or September.
Right. Like the tradition, right? But if they're doing all these events so early in the year, why are they waiting to do all these events, so early in the year, and then and then release it so late in the year. I would think it would be not too long after then. So maybe early summer.
Yeah.
And then also, like, you want to have it out just a little while before Black Friday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but October is that as well. It does fit for that as well. So yeah,
I think October, when you probably wouldn't even have any stock for Black Friday. I don't think they're gonna have stock for a while anyway. There's only so much that they can have ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so there's gonna be a show here in Dallas at Fair Park, which is like, I don't know, man. Kieran, you say something. It's like it's just it's an old.
Rumor is July, he said.
It's an old, very old area where they have conferences and special show. That's where they have the state park at. All right. There's so many other different places that are much nicer than that area, but that area, yeah. Because the area is pretty shady. I mean, it's not like in a good part of town either.
Yeah, it's it's kind of shady. But I mean, like I said to you, and I said it in jest, but also, hey, right? Even though Microsoft, multi-billion-dollar company, like, hey, times is tough. You're not trying to waste money on some big venue on some shit. You feel me?
Well, they should just held it at Traders Village, man. There's a turnout there every day.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo, you say Microsoft, but Nintendo ain't broke either, right? But you're not trying to waste money, right? So, hey,
they should have held it at some high school auditorium then.
Oh, well, I mean, it is what it is. Like, I don't really knock it, man. I'm not even trying to sign up. I just don't expect that ever again.
See, even Kieran says, head out there during the day, leave before the night, before the lights, the street lights come on, right? You gotta get out of there.
Yeah, like your mom used to tell you.
Yeah, get out of there. So I'll send a reminder to you tomorrow. I'm gonna set myself a little alarm after the show and to remind myself about this and send you and Kieran a heads up and say, hey man, don't forget to register because this is coming up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Supposedly the link goes live at 2 p.m. our time. So that's all I have.
What happens?
That's all I have.
Cool.
Man. So what's up with Space Marines, man?
Hey man. So I had sent a link before about some stuff, and maybe it was mentioned that link that I sent you before, but I didn't see it. But it got up to 6 million players. Right?
Yeah.
That's some hey, Space Marine 2, and they did say they're already working on a sequel. They had an interview or whatever.
So Space Marines 3?
Yeah, it's already in production. Yeah, because I mean, this is the second game, right? Took place after this first one, of course, but like, the plot, it continued on the plot, right?
Yeah.
If you played the first one to find out who that guy was at the end, like for those who played that first one, you're like, oh, it's him? That motherfucker is him?
Did you finally finish it?
No, I didn't.
The ending is awesome. Yeah.
Although I know about the end. I know everything that happens in the game. It doesn't matter. I've already been spoiled, right?
Yeah.
In this what I'm saying, right? And it sold 2 million units in the first 24 hours.
Yeah.
I should know I was definitely one of them, and had reached 5 million by the end of November, right? Now it's already at 6 million, and they're already working on this next one, on the third one.
Yeah.
Right? So awesome to see, because like I always say, I'm so proud about being right about the game. Not so much for the validation of being right or anything like that, but I really believe
just such a good
in the
game.
It's a good game, and I'm happy to be right about a good game being a good game, and that good games can be successful despite all this shit that's ever changing in this industry. One thing remains true, right? Good games are good games, and gamers will play good games, right?
Gamers will play good games, and good games that succeed like this don't need to follow the stupid cultural trend that happens all the time where everybody else is trying to cash in on like, oh, let's write off the curtails of these other trending things that's happening. This one completely like backslapped, and we're not going to do this. We're going to go our own way.
We're not doing none of that dumb shit, right?
Yeah.
We're going to do what we know works, what everybody says they want, and usually comes out and supports. And they did that, and hey, so it's validation, right? Number one. But then another game that that's beloved to me even before Project Wingman, because Project Wingman is really like like an indie version of this game, and that's Ace Combat 7. It too has now reached 6 million sold.
Right now, it's game is 6 million.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But that's Ace Combat 7, and that's just a numbered entry in the series, right? It's a franchise that's been going on since the original PlayStation. If you ever played air combat in the arcades, right? When it
I
came
never
to
played
PlayStation,
this, so that's all it is. It's pure air combat.
yeah, it's pure air
Wow.
combat. It's just like Project Wingman. It's, you know, it's a flight action game. You know my history with aviation and stuff. I went to aviation high school. It used to be aircraft mechanics, stuff like that. Like, so I've always been into that. But the game has always been fun, right? And if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't have no Project Wingman, right?
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that game, I probably would have never bought the PSVR 1 because the VR mode is still exclusive to the original PlayStation 4. They added 3 more missions that are VR only, right?
Oh, wow.
And you need the PSVR 1 to play it, right? They, even though the embargo is long since been over and the exclusivity in terms of that mode with on the contract with Sony has long since been over.
Yeah.
Okay, that VR stuff never came to the PC version, right? And it's been on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, and I have it on all 3. I bought the PlayStation version because it came. If you pre-ordered it, you got Ace Combat 5, which was one of my favorite of like the PS2 trilogy of games. 4, 5, and 0. 5 was my favorite. That trilogy was a fantastic trilogy, and 7 is a sequel to that because 6 on the original Xbox is its own thing, right?
Yeah.
So this was a sequel to that beloved trilogy on the PS2, and we all know about the PS2, how great a system that is. It's still, for now, the best selling.
Still selling numbers, man. Still selling
right. Still, this game is still selling numbers from 2 generations, from last generation,
Yeah.
right? So love to see that. Respect to, it's another example of good games do well. We don't need all the bullshit. Stop trying to preach us all this bullshit. Just make a good game and the gamers will show up for it. Like, and this is a game that's, you know, a bit of a niche. Not everybody gonna mess with it.
Yeah, but that's a huge number though.
That's just, and exactly for a niche
For
like
a
this,
niche, yes.
yeah, to make this many, and it's still because they had it at some milestone. I think it was 5 million less than a year, sometime last year.
It's still
I remember
growing.
retweeting that, right? So that means it's still growing, right? And Project Wingman, the DLC that just came to PC late last year, right? That was PlayStation 5 VR exclusive, right? It was only on the PS5, right? And I kickstarted the original game on PC, right? But that was on PS5 and the PlayStation community, right? The PS VR community shitted all over that game. Now it's on PC and they love it. It's doing
They
as
do
great
all
as
over
it
it.
could've did. They shit all over it because they don't know nothing about these PlayStation dudes. Like, I'm not trying to talk some fanboy shit, but as we see the numbers bear out, these dudes don't play games. They just talk about it. They don't be about it, clearly, because otherwise PlayStation wouldn't be in the situation they are today, right? That's what it truly is of all things. As many, you know, points of blame I want to put on Sony, it's just as much these gamers, but even then, the gamers were trained or taught by Sony to be that way, right? In a manner of speaking.
Yeah.
So, hey, it's full circle, right? It all comes together. It all just makes sense. But there it is, right? But there it is. It's just, I love to see, and yes, I love these games, right? But even if I wasn't about these games and I knew that other people love these games, and I just said to myself, oh, it's not a game for me. Like my nephew, he plays Smite and League of Legends. I'm not interested in those at all, but he loves them. That's all he plays, right? And he's mid-30s. That's all he plays. And hey, I don't knock it. I just know it's not for me. And I'm happy that the game is doing good. And I know that, just like Realist mentioned earlier, there's a sequel to Smite coming out in Smite 2. And I hope that does well for my nephew and for others who like those games, right? Like, if it were up to me, to greenlight a sequel, hell yeah, I would have did that. It didn't have to be for me. And I'm not just saying that to answer what you were saying earlier, Willis. I mean, just of the logic of it, right? That's what this is supposed to be all about, and it seems not to be when it should. But here's yet 2 examples to show what it should be all about, and this is how you really get success.
I'm reading some of the comments on the
Love to see it.
side. One says 8, please. I guess they want a sequel
Oh yeah,
to that.
definitely want 8.
I love Ace Combat. And then
Yeah, people love it, man.
and that's it. I mean, there's not that many, but still. Yeah. I haven't played a good jet game in a long time. Which is some sort of fighter game like this. But we need to play Space Marine again because that was fun.
Oh yeah, bro.
And that
Just-
and that
just-
damn,
just let me know.
I told you those missions like at 30 minutes long, right? That
Hell
one
yeah.
this thing was
That was the experience I knew I would have in co-op. That's why I was telling Legal and everybody else, like, yo, I tried to spread the word, and yo, when we hopped in, we had those. Yeah, you can get both of those on Steam, on Ace Combat and Wingman. They're both on Xbox and Steam, and I have them on both. I have both games on every platform they exist, except for the DLC on the PS5, which I might purchase, yet and still, just to support. Like, I've been considering that. Like, I really would, because it's a 3-man team, and only one of them is the programmer. The other guy is the writer and like the PR guy, and the other guy is the guy who does the music. So actually, it's a 1-man team when it comes to actually building the game, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to Project Wingman, Ace Combat is Namco, right? And and there's lots of story about that game when it comes to just the soundtrack alone. Like, there was an interview I read, I think last year, like, the guy who did the soundtrack, he had to go back. Like, it was this whole thing where they wanted the right soundtrack to match the feeling of the game, and that didn't happen correctly until the very end. And they almost canceled that shit. It was in development hell and all types of stuff. Like, if it wasn't for the producer believing in the project and putting his elbow in it, right, and mixing it up real nice, like, it wouldn't even come out at all.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Ace Combat, right? So, hey, man, these are passion projects by people who believe in the art of gaming, right? And we need to return to that in so many ways. In so many ways. That's what's going to bring this industry out of the rut it is. Because it's in a rut. Like, Aurelia said that before. Like, you would think, oh, this industry is doing great. And no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because the people who should be in charge, who care and know about what should be done in this industry, are not the ones who get to decide, right? It's all these money men who know nothing about what the fuck they're doing. It's just that simple. I feel that's what this industry is about. Nice one, Kieran.
All right. So, final little thing that I want to revisit is, and I've been seeing a lot of traction on this online for some reason. I don't know why people are coming back to this and like renewing the hate that one side has against the other side who loves being on a service like Game Pass. They keep fighting the whole fight of, I prefer to own my game, it's mine, over renting a game from like Game Pass or any other gaming service, right? And I don't know, Realist, were you in a thread earlier this week? People are like, well, what if the service just goes away one day, and that $30 upgrade that you paid because you got the base game for free, you just lose all that? And I was like,
it's possible. I mean, like, I get in and get out, and I've seen that a few times, man. One I've seen them like on YouTube.
Yeah,
because I watch VG Flight School, and a lot of PlayStation fans. This is one thing. PlayStations love going where they know they're not welcome. they love going where they know that there's opposition, and then treat you like you're the delusional ones.
Yeah.
So I don't know, where you saw me, or if,
well, I don't know if it was you or maybe you were entwined in some debate about how if you lose access to the base game, then you just spent that $30 for nothing, For
well,
that.
the thing is, you can go buy the game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, just go buy the game. So I don't. This is all PlayStation rhetoric, because if PlayStation Plus gave them whatever trash that PlayStation's about to shovel their way in a service, they'd take it.
Yep.
Like I just saw that PlayStation posted that God of War is going to hit PS Plus.
Yes. Yep.
And I can pretty much bet my bottom dollar that the majority of the people that like that post have already played God of War.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, there's really no purpose in Plus.
Well, my deal is, like, nobody makes a fuss when you sign up for Netflix, you watch all these movies that you're essentially renting or leasing, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment you cancel it, you lost access to those movies and shows.
Right. You can't purchase any.
And nobody
the
bitches
one
about
thing
that.
I'll give them credit. The one thing I'll give them credit for when it comes to Netflix is you never own Netflix games.
No.
Right.
You never own them. They, like, it takes for it to be a super duper hit for it to make its way on shelves for you to buy the season.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then when with gaming, you've always bought your games. But
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
at least you have an nobody's
nobody's
option to
making
buy.
you subscribe.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody's making you subscribe. And
Well-
so when you subscribe, that's the whole purpose of a subscription is you don't own it, but you have access to a catalog.
Yes. And on top of that, right, you can buy it if you want, and at a discount of 20%.
Yeah.
Like, what more do you want? There are many games on Game Pass I own, and Project Wingman was one of them. It came to Game Pass, and there's a whole video from some YouTuber that I've saved the video, right?
But they also make it seem like we're not aware. Like a person like myself, I rarely buy Xbox games now because of Game Pass. It's just the way it is now.
No,
right?
but they're not talking to us. Talking to us.
Yeah.
Right? I already know where you're going with it. They're not talking to us. They're talking to the people who don't know left or right, the casuals who don't know any of these details, right?
Mhm.
So they scream out all this crap, right? And it's obfuscated. Just like when I forget which one of you were saying earlier, these people in Europe and Africa and whatnot who don't know nothing but PlayStation, right? And all they ever hear about Xbox is bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So they're just putting that bullshit out to the ether so those people hear it and never even bother to look at what Xbox has.
Yeah.
That's why the good Bruvian out there in the UK, right? He's like, he's so shocked. Like you see it, you can see the honesty in his eyes and what he's saying. He really didn't know. He heard about Quick Resume, but didn't really know what it was because all the bullshit that's out there preventing him from ever trying. He was dunking on his son who owned it the whole time.
Yeah.
His own son. And of course it was in jest. That's his son. Clearly they have a great bond as father and son. They were doing videos together all that time, right? But that's the answer to your question. Just to put it out there.
It's just annoying to like.
Yeah.
You think it was over, and then somehow you rediscover it again. Somebody's talking about like, well, you're gonna lose access when you unsubscribe. I was like, yes, I'm aware. I'm not gonna have access to those games. I'm not an idiot. I know what I'm getting myself into. And somehow they're trying to convince one. They're like, oh, it's such a bad deal because you don't actually own them. It's like, I don't give a shit about owning them. You know?
Nope.
I don't care. Just like I don't care about the TV shows and the movies that are on Netflix or the music that's in Spotify. I do not care for owning them. And
if I did, I still have the option to at 20% off.
And somehow they want me to care about owning. I was like, I do not care. I've been there already. And I still have physical games that I actually own, and I still purchase games that I'm interested in. But it doesn't give me that superior warm and fuzzy feeling that's like, you know what? It doesn't matter what happens on the service because I own this game.
Yep.
Right? It's just dumb to me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to understand, like, they have been indoctrinated, right? They go listen to your Queen Trashes and your Blaze 4K and Colin Moriarty's, and they all say the same thing, right? And because he brought up, I need to remember his show. Eli. He brought up Eli. Couple of Fools. He brought up Couple of Fools. I've watched some of his old content.
Yes, I have too.
And he was a pony.
He was a pony.
He was the same stupid pony.
Or
pretty much. But he.
I tried to say that about
okay. It was toxicity with a smile. How's that?
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? His personality is still his personality, but he was still parroting the same dumb talking points. Exclusives, right? But now he's understanding. Like he said that, he won't miss God of War. Cool.
Yeah.
Me, I think it's buns, and you can keep it. but because that's the reason I'm on Xbox, man. I've never cared about what PlayStation had. Back in the day, they had Game Day, but I had 2K.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They had Tomb Raider, and I had MDK.
Yeah.
Ready to Rumble. There were so many games that I had on Dreamcast that I never really cared about a PlayStation just because everybody else had it. Because see, a lot of people, they just moved from Nintendo to PlayStation.
Yep.
I moved from Nintendo to Dreamcast.
That's all they knew.
You know, yeah, and so that's why like I never cared about what PlayStation had. And over there, you gotta understand, like they won't even look at an Xbox.
Yeah.
So like this is like when they start showing the shelves of European countries and how there's stacks of Xboxes and all the PlayStation. So I was like, dude, you guys like you acting like this is something new. You acting like this is something that's a surprise. Like that's what y'all do there. Y'all don't even consider anything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like that's not Xbox's fault. I don't think that there's anything Xbox can offer or show you. You know what I mean? You've sworn your allegiance. But hopefully more people like him, not so that Xbox can sell more consoles, but just so that people can stop having these same stupid talking points and conversations, man.
Right.
But like I have Stars, right? At the end of the year, last year. Stars
PlayStation Stars? Or you mean the TV network?
Wait, what you mean? Stars? What are you talking?
I don't even have PlayStation Plus. Anyway, so like Stars with 50 Cent and those shows, right?
Okay. Okay, the TV network. Okay.
Yeah, because like I have what's the name on my iPhone? iTV, whatever it's called. Apple TV. And so they told me that I can get Stars. You can because I Googled Power, Kanan. Because I used to have it. I used to have cable. Now I don't have cable. So I was like, man, I never finished watching Kanan. So I Googled it, and then it said, watch Stars. Now I'm going somewhere with all this because you guys were like, what if they take it away? Okay. So they said for $24 you get 6 months access to Stars. And now I'm mad because they're giving away a year for the same $24. But anyway, I got 6 months.
$24.
Dude, that's great.
Yeah.
I paid $100. I just got hit on auto pay for $1.80 by HBO Max. I meant to cancel that.
Hey, yo.
So anyway,
they got you, huh?
and HBO doesn't do refunds. So anyway,
No, they don't.
So I know that I got until June. If I don't want to re-up to finish the Power universe, and that's what I'm gonna do, or resubscribe.
Yeah.
I know I don't own the Power catalog or the Stars catalog because Stars has other good movies. HBO has some good movies too. Because HBO is Discovery and Warner Brothers.
Max, basically. They call it now, right?
Yeah, it's called Max. The app is called Max, I think. I don't know if they changed the name of the company, but you know that if you cancel your subscription, you're not gonna have access to the content. But these guys, they all sit around in their chant circles and talk about how bad Xbox is and the circle jerk and talk about how they don't own anything as if we own the digital purchases we make. I don't know like why these dudes aren't reading the EULA. Like the EULA, like the first one that I saw to do it was Metaphor. Basically, you don't own anything, and Steam has changed their whole their whole what is it called? Agreement.
Yeah.
It's a license. And that license may be revoked at any time. Now, you know that they probably wouldn't do it in the next couple of years, but let's just say in 10 years they want to make a remaster like PlayStation is doing with or has done with Horizon, right? And they take it off the market. You know what I mean? You don't own this stuff anymore. And we all welcome it in.
Still have it, but nobody else can buy it.
Bro, unless you pirated it, you don't own it.
Yeah.
Karen says
you bought it physical.
Karen says it's always a license. We all know that. It's just sometimes you have to spell it out for people.
Yeah.
Well, we knew it was a license, but we didn't know the limitations of the license until recently.
Right. Until
now we know.
Clear.
Yeah, now we know the limits of the license, and you don't own crap.
No,
but you can keep telling yourself you do, and that bots don't own anything, but you don't own these PlayStation games. And if any company or platform is shiesty, it's PlayStation.
Yeah.
Then Nintendo, then Microsoft. If it came to a digital library, I have the least faith in PlayStation and Nintendo.
Yeah. So I always mention I think since my son was 12 years old, so it's going on for a good 2 years now, where he realized the value of Game Pass.
Yeah, you were talking about that. Yeah,
I've been talking to this for a couple of years now. You know, when I explained to him, say, hey, this is Game Pass, this is how it works, and this is what you get, and so on and so forth. Yeah. And he had the understanding. It's like, well, that sounds like a good deal. It's like, what about PlayStation? Like, they don't have a service like that. And I was like, they have their own type of service, but it's just not the same as Game Pass. And he's like, then why would I want to play on PlayStation? Exactly. You know? It's like,
I made you proud.
It's like, so when he's all hyped up for Dark Ages, the new Doom one.
Yeah, Doom the Dark Ages.
Yeah, the Dark Ages.
Dark Age.
So he's all hyped up, and I go, and he, you know, we're looking at some trailer that came out or whatever trailer we saw, and I go, hey, you do realize this is going to be on Game Pass? He's like, oh yeah. I was like, we don't have to pay for it. He's like, yeah, I forgot. And I was like, all right, well, there you go. See? So when it comes out, day one, we got it. Don't worry about it. He's like, oh, okay. I'm looking forward. When is it coming out? I was like, there's no date yet, but yeah. Or maybe there is.
So listen. So next week is the reveal thing, right?
Yeah.
That's
right.
Where he sits and watches it with you.
Yeah.
Or, no, but that's probably in the daytime, knowing them. But like, you know, you're not going to be able to watch it live because he'll be in school. You'll probably be at work doing work. But like, hey, do a live stream, father and son.
Yeah.
He's been on camera before. I wouldn't suggest you put him on camera. I mean, but that's up to you. That's your son. That's your life. You choose what you.
No, he's been on camera before. Yeah.
Bro, he's been on camera already. He likes the camera.
He's been on camera, but I'm saying if you want to have him on camera the whole time doing the thing instead of just passing through like he does sometimes, that's up to you, right?
Poking his with his little afro. Oh boy, they got an afro right now.
Right. But what I'm saying is, hey, father and son moment, because you saying that, you know,
somebody called them Bruno Mars the other day.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just you and him watch it and get the live reaction. That would be awesome.
I know. Yeah, he's looking. He really loved Eternal, man. He was all into that one.
Yeah, man.
I didn't think he was going to keep up with it because you know Doom is fast, man. It's a fast paced game. Yeah. And he's like, he loved it, man. He's like, yeah.
He's the same one who's playing Helldivers, right? On the PC.
Yeah, he's playing. He plays the hell out of Helldivers, big time. And then, so when I pick him up from school, I listen to one of the Houston sports stations, and right at 4:00, the intro from the show that's coming back from commercial break. They do a little intro like, hey, the Houston Rockets, hey, the Houston Astros, yada, yada, yada. And then the beat of Doom starts coming on. Right?
Oh, and he knows it.
And it's just like, it has a small, like the little guitar intro that does Doom, and then a small pause, and then the drum bass, boom, 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 right? And we like, he knows it. When I pick him up on time, like right before 4:00, he's like, it's like, are you listening to Sports 790? It's like, yeah. It's like, all right. Then 4:00. We know the wording already when it's going to happen. I just turn it up because we want to hear the Doom music.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the intro song. For the show.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Like that shit is hot fire, bro. The whole soundtrack to Doom 2016 was dope. That track, though.
It is.
That one track. I think they played at the Game Awards years back when the game was new, right? Love that freaking song.
Dude, you could just listen to that all day, and like you'll be like,
I listened to that song for months. It was on repeat for months. That song is.
Listen to Kieran. He goes, bro. Now, why do you have to abuse your child like that?
I was laughing at that before. Yeah. Yeah, you heard me saying that in the undercurrent. If you listen back, you'll hear me noticing that when he said that. Yeah,
hey, man, I got all Houston stuff here, like on the wall. I got tons of hats. They know.
But yeah, hey, so listen, next week's show, have your son on for just a couple of minutes and let's ask him what he thinks about the Doom trailer. He can say his 2 cents on it.
Is it next week?
And then, yeah, it's next week if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, it is on the 23rd. That's right.
On the 23rd. So that's same day.
It's the same day. Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah, so by then y'all two will have done the live stream where y'all watch it together or whatnot.
Yeah.
Right? And then during the show, we'll do it early on. Just ask him what he thinks, right? Just his own opinion, what he thinks. There's no influence from you or me or anybody else or realist, whoever. We get a different point of view.
Kieran, who is it? No, it's Google. He said he played that game Once Human. I downloaded it because a friend of mine told me.
Model babe characters, of
And
course.
I haven't,
it's Korean.
and I haven't played it yet. Somebody told me it's really good, but it's a survival game. I think it's a survival game. I'm not good with survival games. I'm not. I just run around like just a dummy. So it's still on my machine on this one that I'm working on. So
Nice.
all right, man. Let's get on out of here because tomorrow I'm heading out to Oklahoma City. So,
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Which ain't that? It's not that far from you.
It's like 3 hours. Not that far.
Yeah, not that bad. Not that bad. But yeah, man.
We're gonna go to Okie Doke. Yeah.
Okie doke. Oakley Dokley. Good freaking show, bro.
Kieran's like, oof, he knows. He's like, oh God, why are you going to Oklahoma City? We got a free night of hotel. That's why. So we're just going for 1 day. And that's it.
Oh,
It's not that far from there, though.
No, it's not. No.
Oklahoma City. If you have to go to Oklahoma, that's a good place to go, though.
Mm-hmm.
Don't they have? And then you like steak?
Yeah. Yeah.
And go to Cattleman's Ranch. I think that's what it's
I
called.
think somebody told me about that. Yeah.
Even I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody told me about that place. Also, I was telling people that I was going. They're like, man, you gotta try out this Kettleman place. So,
Yeah, every place. No, it's like, fancy one. Like it's not like I don't know how much you pay for steak. Sometimes I think it's ridiculous.
I can't just walk in my Adidas outfit.
Oh no, you can, but what I'm saying is like now I understand $100 for a tomahawk, but I don't understand $80 for a ribeye.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
No.
Like because we my brother-in-law, he loves steak, so we go. I love steak too, but not enough to be. I wouldn't do it if he didn't invite me. But like go to Vic and Anthony's, ribeye $80. Morton's is like $65 for a ribeye. And it's like Cattleman's gonna be like that. There's a place in Amarillo where they got the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I tried it.
Oh, the challenge?
I tried it.
You tried it?
I tried it. Hell yeah. And plus, it's like a porterhouse, bro. I mean, it was okay.
Did you finish it?
Hell no.
You said he failed.
I said I tried and failed.
Oh,
yeah. You get a potato, you get some shrimp, you get a lot of stuff. It's like 100, like a buck. It's like $130, but like,
wow.
Oh,
man, wow. I don't really like porterhouse like that. I mean, they give you a lot of au jus too, though.
It's like the great outdoors, huh?
They know. I don't know that one.
Oh, you don't know
What's
that
that?
one? Oh, it's the John Candy.
Where is it?
80s.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a restaurant, bro.
No.
I thought he meant the au jus like the
I remember the great. That was a good one.
Well, that's what I was talking about. The great.
Yeah.
Because they put au jus on the
You got to eat all the fat too, right?
I like the fat. The fat.
I like the
well,
fat.
some people put it to the side. It's
yeah, because they got a problem in their brain. Cause see, like for me, I can't chew fruit.
What?
And like,
what?
I don't like. I'll eat it I'll eat a smoothie, drink it, or whatever you want to call a smoothie.
Solid
but I won't.
Fruit. You can't eat it.
It'll take me 20 minutes. I think I told you.
If I gave you a little small, tiny bowl of like grapes,
I wouldn't even take it. I was just about to say it took me 10 minutes to eat a grape, bro.
What?
So if you were dying
I eat the
hungry
skin.
and I gave you an apple,
no, I will eat it.
Do I have to cut it up in pieces like a kid?
I'll eat an apple. I'll eat a pineapple. I'll eat lemons. I'll eat grapefruit. I'll eat stuff like that. But
there's no chewing in mouth.
Once it gets to that gushy like a banana, like I was kind of traumatized, man. My mama gave me a banana and she slapped me upside the head when I threw it up.
Oh,
wow.
I wouldn't touch a banana for years.
But hey,
bro.
do you eat watermelon? Why did you get so quiet?
You were about to say something. That's why.
I said, do you eat watermelon?
I know I'm a colored man, but
I knew you were
listen to me.
But see, the thing about I could chew that with my tongue.
Oh wow, that's you got PTSD.
Look, I didn't know it. It has nothing to do with my mama. She just didn't understand. She was an ignorant young parent. But like, I had a teacher in like high school.
So that's a yes on the watermelon.
I will swallow a
purple juice.
watermelon without
red.
even chewing it. But like she explained it. She said that she has a nephew like that, and it's the texture of the fruit that you don't like to chew it. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna run with that.
Okay,
But I'm not. It's not unique.
I'll tell you this. I like menudo. I don't like the meat of the menudo.
What is
Bro,
menudo?
You don't like the meat? It's a
Nope.
Mexican dish.
I don't like the meat that's in the menudo.
No,
But what kind of meat is it? Is it lamb?
It's like all
beef?
rubbery and nasty, dude. I don't like it.
I think it's tripe.
I love tripe. I love tripe.
I can't eat it. I can't eat that.
It's got like the hexagon pattern in the meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love tripe.
I can't.
Tripe.
Nope.
Yeah, I but see, my aunt gave me that when I was young. Yeah, it is rubbery. She used to fry it, so it wasn't.
Yeah, definitely then. Oh wow.
But like,
never had
but it was good. It tastes good.
Yeah.
You just sitting there chewing on it like bubble gum.
Oh, I can't do it. Nope.
Wow,
No, sir.
you can't do fruit. Wow, that's crazy.
Here's another one. Here's another one.
He ain't a real essay.
Here. Okay. Here's another one that you're gonna be like. You're gonna double down on that. Oh, you're not a real essay again. I don't like beans.
Wow.
Bro, I ain't never met a beaner who don't like beans.
I don't like
beans.
I don't like beans. Nope.
Wow.
Nope. I won't eat beans.
Okay. Well, do you eat rice?
Rice? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, about to say. Because I'm like,
hell no.
all three of us come from cultures where we fucks with rice. If you didn't fuck with rice, that's equally as bad as the beans.
I cannot stand eat like beans at all. If you give me a dish that has beans in it, if the beans is mixed in with rice, you'll see a pile of beans just set to the side. Yeah. Right.
Because his wife is Mexican, that's not possible for him.
Okay. So is it the same thing? You don't like to chew on?
I just don't. No, it's not the texture or anything like that. I just don't like them. Period.
You don't like the flavor, bro?
I don't like the flavor.
You don't like the flavor of rancheros?
Nope. Not refried beans, not whatever mixture. No, whatever beans. I don't eat.
So like if I put it on the bottom of your taco, no diddy, you wouldn't eat it.
I wouldn't. If I know it's in there, if I'm unaware, I will chew into it. I'll eat it, and I'm like, "There's beans in this shit. I'm not eating it."
Okay, but here's the thing, though. I don't like beans and chili when it's like the hard beans. I don't like beans and burritos unless it's like like the smoothed out, and I don't like it in nachos. Right? I don't like beans and everything, but I'm a red beans and rice Asian dude. Like and really, like our cuisine is similar enough
across
that,
the board,
like,
Kieran.
Right. So it is what it is. He don't fuck with beans. Period.
Mm-mm.
But okay.
Have I eaten them before? Yes, I have. I just I don't eat them.
Right.
And I'll tell you this: many years ago, I was in Houston. It was during the holidays. My dad said, "Hey, let's go to your aunt's house. They're having a birthday party for somebody, and they got food over there and everything. So let's just go." I was like, "Okay, cool." My aunt says, "Hey, you want some hot dogs?" It's like, "Yeah, I'll take a couple of hot dogs. Cool." And she gives me a plate. There was a hot dog bread with a big serving of pretty much, it was like chili and pieces of hot dogs, and it had beans in it. And I just looked down. I was like, "Oh shit." So I couldn't just like, I'm not gonna eat this crap, And so I had to like just eat it, man. I'm like, and it was just like one serving. Man. It's like I can't eat anymore. I can't eat beans. Nope.
Well, I'm like that with cornmeal, right?
Yeah.
And that's a staple thing in Haitian diets. And one time I ate it at an aunt's house, and she died. What was it? 2 years ago now. So I'm thinking about that now. But man, I ate it just like you, right? For appearance's sake, to not disrespect you.
Yes, exactly. It's what I did,
right? Yeah. And I did, but like, bro, and then I was sick later from it, right? Because I think
okay,
I'm allergic.
I don't get sick,
but I understand what it is. Cornmeal, I feel I'm allergic to it, but I also don't like it either. But I think I don't like it because I must have had a bad reaction to it when I was younger, and I don't remember that. But I just know I don't like it, right?
Yeah.
So that could be a PTSD for me. But anyway, here's what I want to say before when we first started on this tangent of a conversation when we were about to leave. I thought, right? I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, right? But you guys were talking about watermelon, right? And when I was in college,
black, huh?
because I'm black, my Italian friend, my boy Money Mike, because there were two Mikes in our friend group, right? And so to differentiate them, there was Money Mike and Pothead Mike. Clearly, Pothead Mike smoked a lot of weed, and Money Mike had a bit of money in his family. He wasn't like a rich person, but his family wasn't broke, right?
Yeah.
He was like upper middle class, you would say, right? And so he asked me one day if I like chicken and watermelon, and I swear to God, at age 25, I had never heard of that as a thing, right?
As a
like
stereotype or trope or something.
Like I like chicken,
and
I like watermelon.
Yeah,
but I don't eat. I've never eaten, and yet and still, I'm 45. I've never eaten chicken and watermelon as a meal. I don't even see how that goes. But I like chicken and I like watermelon. I even have learned to appreciate the Japanese style of putting a little bit of salt on your watermelon.
Oh, I can't do that. No.
But just a little like it's not a thing I usually do.
Yeah.
But I've done it before. I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
I don't dislike it at all, but it's not my common thing. So I've done all these variants, but chicken and watermelon, I've never done ever. I thought that was
that's like Hispanics putting all that powder Lucas powder on their.
Oh, and not put no sugar and grits.
You know what I'm talking
butter?
Lucas.
I don't even like grits.
It's like Lucas, some kind of spice or some. They put them all over their fruit. Yeah,
Lucas, I've never heard of this.
It's called Lucas, and it's just like this powder form. You just sprinkle it on top of your fruit or something, and
no, they don't have it up there, bro. It's lime seasoning, and what's the other one that starts with a T? Tahine or something like that?
Tahine.
That's not Takis.
That's not. I think I know what
Come
he's
on.
saying.
Bro, you are not a Mexican, bro.
Yeah, man, you're a bad rep. Yeah, you poorly represented.
Bro, I'm pretty sure it's TAJI.
I think it was
IN.
You talking about Tijuana?
No, man. Tahine, I think that's what it's called. But basically, it's like this red seasoning that they put on everything. Some people just put it in their hands and lick their hands.
It's red.
Yeah, it's like it looks like seasoned salt.
Yeah.
Geez, what's that seasoning? It's reddish.
That's what he said.
I used to find it at work all the time in the little packets, and so I never, and for a long time I would never have to buy any because I would find it at work all the time in the cabinets when I'm doing my inspections and just pocket them. And I used them I used to use them when I'm cooking until I ran out.
Yeah, it's called tahine. TAJIN.
Yeah,
no tortillas either. I won't eat it.
You won't eat
Come on, man.
What? You are the fakest Mexican. Wow, bro.
I'm just messing.
I'm imagining like one day I'm gonna come to Texas, we're gonna link up, and you gotta show me around to the good spots in Texas to get, I want some good Texas barbecue, all of that stuff, some good steaks and stuff. And I want some good Mexican. I'm expecting you to show me. And you keep coming to me. You don't know nothing.
I'll just take you to the Harry Hines flea market, man. We'll get some food there. That's where I go.
Won't, bro.
That's where I go,
bro. And I think I'm gonna depend on Kieran and real estate to hold it down because you ain't with it.
He's slacking, bro.
I just don't like beans, man. That's all I don't like.
You don't like beans and you don't like fajitas, bro. Come on.
Come on. Wow. I like fajitas, man.
Oh, who don't? I'm about to say, hey, man.
Wait, hold on. What did you just say you didn't like?
Beans?
I thought you said you didn't like fajitas.
No, I said beans.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah, tortillas.
I said tortillas, but I only said that because Kieran was like, what's next? You don't like tortillas?
Oh, you really do like tortillas?
No,
okay,
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. About to say, bro, because I'm just like, hey, yo, you cannot. This is not valid.
Hey, Tech, over there, is everything like Tex-Mex?
What? A lot of restaurants.
Cause there are very, very few like authentic Mexican restaurants in Houston.
It's just those big chain restaurants. It's all Tex-Mex. I like.
No. I'm talking about like Maria's. You go to Maria's restaurant and it's like Tex-Mex.
No, it's Tex-Mex. Yeah. It's all Tex-Mex.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, do they have any like authentic Mexican restaurants? Now, the only time I can get authentic Mexican is like at a food truck or at a restaurant in the middle of nowhere, like in College Station.
And that's what I'm saying. I enjoy going to the Latin flea markets because that's where you get the real good food. And they got restaurants. They got restaurants in there. Yeah. I mean, it's not somewhere you'll take a date to if you were trying to impress a girl, but if you want some good Mexican food, that's where I go. Is to like one of those Mexican flea markets, and they got all their individual. They got like 6 restaurants in there, and like crazy. And I'd rather go there to those type of places.
Because I'm gonna be honest, like what most people think Mexican food is doesn't impress me, bro.
Yeah,
like everybody thinks enchiladas, tacos, burritos is all Mexican food is, and that's like what they put in the front. Because I know do y'all have arandas?
Up here, no, they don't. We don't have it here.
I would think they would have moved out of Houston with as many of them as they have in Houston. They
they got tons in Houston, but no, not.
It's like 35 of them.
No, I can look it up. Let's see, just to make sure. But I never seen them at all up here.
Okay, do you guys like fish tacos?
Yeah.
Okay, I love fish tacos, but they have to be what I consider to be proper. And what I consider to be improper is when the fish is these little fried chunks of fish, right? That are deep fried in some kind of batter or some shit. That to me is not a proper fish taco. And I always hear about how in West Coast, Hawaii too, like they fucks with that heavy, right? And the first time I had a fish taco, I'm like, yeah, I see why. But then I had another one in New York for some dude who told me, oh, they make some good Mexican food over there and they have fish taco, and that's what I had. And then they gave me little fried chunks, and I've had that in other places too. I'm like, yo, what the hell is this? There's only one time I've ever had a fish taco where it's supposed to be little fried chunks like that, but on the inside it's wet and juicy like it should be, right? And so, goddamn.
Hey, they do have one. They have one. That's why I never see it. It's not.
I would have thought that they would have tried to. Maybe they're in San Antonio, because I'm telling you, like, I saw like number 36 on the side of the one by where I stay. Because I live like right outside of Houston North. But like when you go to the south, they're like churches. They're like on every corner. You know what I'm saying? So like I figured they would have moved outside of Houston by now.
They have one. Yep, they have one. And it's not that far, but I never seen it there. They must have just opened it because I've been in that area. I never seen it before. That's why I was like, nah, it's not there. But yeah, they have it. So you like arandas?
Arandas?
They're okay. I mean, that's not. There are Mexican restaurants.
We used to go. That used to be our go-to back in Houston.
Taqueria Aranda.
Yeah. It used to be our go-to back in Houston when I lived in Houston, but not so much anymore.
Houston.
Now, you know who else has some good authentic stuff? Michoacana.
Oh, I was about to say that. We got tons of those here too.
He said it with the gusto. Say that again? No, you're not doing it right. No, realist is more real than you. Yo, realist, say it again the way you said it, bro.
Well, Michoacana.
Yeah, see, he's saying it right. Like I know. Listen. I told you. I failed 3 times in school and took Japanese instead to get my language requirement in high school. But I know it when I hear it when it's said right.
That's where.
Fake as fuck, Tech. Fake as fuck, bro.
That's where I get when I want to get some fajita meat. That's where I go. Is
nice.
The Michoacana.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Barbacoa
there. Shit, man. I'll go shopping for meat there, and then I'll get some hot plates to eat there at the same time. Because it smells.
Yeah, bro.
Because it smells so good.
We used to all put in back when I worked at a valve company, man. Let me see, maybe like 12 years ago. And this dude came through with like 2 pounds of barbacoa and serranos. That was it, and some limes. I was like, bro, no cheese, no nothing, no sour cream, no nothing.
No, hell no.
He was like, nah.
All you need is cilantro and onion. That's it.
And some beer,
bro,
right?
And beer.
Bro, we didn't even. Well, this was at work, but I'm sure it would have some cervezas after
Yeah.
work. So like, but yeah, like,
He even
Super.
said that proper.
bro,
You know what I'm saying?
bro,
You
those,
really fun.
bro, those were the best tacos. And so now I take my boy and we go to Michoacana and get pound and a half of barbacoa
Mm-hmm.
and some corn tortillas.
Yep.
And serranos.
Yep.
And sometimes the serranos get hot.
Hot house.
But yeah, spicy.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, because like I don't want to nerd out on I cook, so I know a lot about stuff, but like on the Scoville, it's low. Jalapenos are too, but if you
Yes,
get
they are.
fresh ones, they will burn your mouth.
This is true.
Oh man, I used to work with this old man and he grew peppers. And he crossbred and created something called a devil's tongue. Now,
I heard of that.
you have? How do you hear about it? He said he
Hey,
made
man.
it up.
I heard of a devil's tongue in terms of peppers, because there was a shop near my high school, right, where they sold hot pepper, hot sauce, all types of stuff, and they had a tasting thing, right? But there were certain ones where you had to sign up, you had to sign off on
Waiver.
to taste it. Yeah, waiver. You had to sign off on the waiver to try it out. And there was one of them that was called Devil's Tongue. I don't know if it's the same thing or if he just, if he made
That some bitch had me thinking he crossbred that. And I've been telling people about this pepper.
Maybe he did on his own because they made it there in house.
It's some bitch.
So I don't know. I'm not claiming
because
his.
you know the thing about a pepper. Peppers are fruit. Peppers are sweet.
Yeah.
And like the mass produced peppers are the ones that balance it, right? Because it can be so peppery that it tastes nasty.
Yeah, like
you know what I mean. So like oh yeah, man. I was like, man, you should sell that. I don't believe that bastard no more, man. I think.
I don't know. Listen, man, don't take what I said one way.
I think he bought the seeds, bro.
Maybe and he did. I don't know, man. I'm just saying. But yo,
no.
But really, all I'm gonna say is, man, tonight you have lived up to your name. That's all. That's all, bro. Unlike this one over here, this fake dude over here, bro. Like, come on, man.
Hey, I ain't a ranchero Mexicano guy. I am not those guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Whoa.
There's different Mexicans.
Yeah.
All right.
He just came back a little bit right with that right there. I ain't gonna lie.
¿Tú hablas español?
Yo sí hablo español.
Yeah, he definitely does. He definitely does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I never heard him speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Speak Spanish.
Look,
I'm not Home Depot standing outside Mexican.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. Well, we know that, but like, I took Spanish from 6th grade into college, right?
See, look at that. I'm answering in Spanish. See.
Yeah. See, look, I could not.
Simon.
Simon, look. Look, so I go talking to some Mexicans when I did construction. I did a job down in Corpus, right? Yeah. Nothing but Mexicans. And I'm down there thinking, okay, my time is done. The dude said, what did you say? I said, huh? He said, what did you say? I said, that's not how you say it, Holmes. I was like, huh? I was like, bro, I'm saying it right. You're saying it wrong. He said, that might be true. He said, but that's not, he said, but that's not how we talk. I learned. Well, I know what Mexicans call Castilian.
Yes.
I did not know that Castilian or nothing. I just knew he's like, bro, nah, this is what you need to say, man. Don't say it like that. I said, you know what, man? I'm just not gonna even try to speak Spanish. All right, because he's like, nah. He said, man, because you gotta understand, man. He said, man, Mexicans are ghetto, man. It's like, man, we like black people, man. I was like, okay, I'm gonna just. Look,
yeah,
you know when somebody, you know when somebody say something that should be offensive, it's like,
yeah,
okay,
you
like a little shot
like that. You know they
like a little shot to the chest, like a little shot to the chest. He was like, yeah, we like black people, man. He's like, we speak broken Spanish. He said, man, he said, what you trying to talk to us? You trying to talk in white people Spanish? I said, but you can understand me. He said, yeah, but we don't want to.
Okay. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I failed Spanish 3 times in high school, like I said, into Japanese to pass my life, right? But in New York, there's Puerto Ricans, there's
Yeah.
Dominicans, there's
Yeah.
Mexicans, there's Ecuadorians,
Well, I learned
El
that,
Salvadorians, everything, right? So they have all told me, when you learn Spanish, the one thing you learn after you done learned it all, there's different types of Spanish.
Yeah, there is.
Right? That's when
Dialects.
you learn. There's different types of Spanish. And even in España, we call it Spain. You see how Americans fuck, and I'm quoting some comedian. You see how fucked up we are? The country is called España. We call it Spain.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's where the language comes from. Right?
Dude,
And I knew a dude who was in our clan who's from Spain. His family's from Spain. He goes
I
there
can't
often.
understand a word they're saying.
Blah, blah, blah. And that's the real Spanish, but nobody else will understand those guys. That's the Castilian, I think, the original Spanish, right?
That
And
is.
everybody else
Yeah.
looks down at that like that's wrong, but that's what realists learn. And so when he's talking to other guys, they're like, nah, they don't know none of that. That's not what they know. So when the guy says he's the black people, or like his people are the black people of the Spanish-speaking world, I understand where he's coming from, even though I can't speak Spanish to save my life. My brain is incompatible with that shit. It truly is. I put in effort to learn, a lot of effort, and I just failed
So Kieran
spectacularly.
Kieran
There you
asked
have it.
Kieran's asking me, football or soccer?
Football. I call it football.
Depends who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're Haitian, so you look
I'm
at
Haitian.
it like
We
what
all
it
call
is.
it-
So
Yeah.
it depends who you're talking to. You know, if I'm
Yeah.
talking to my relatives, like we call it football.
Football. Yeah.
But if I'm talking to
Well,
somebody
like-
here, I'm just gonna say soccer because that's what it is
Soccer.
here. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cause like Sig, you're Haitian, so like
Yeah.
my granny, I took French for a year so that I could talk to her,
Oh.
and she was like, and she said, "Baby, you'll never be able to talk to me with that." She said
Yeah.
She said what we speak is broken French.
Yes.
She speak Creole, so
Yeah.
like I got tired of her talking around my head, just like Mexicans.
Mhm.
That was my motivation to learn Spanish too. People talking around my head. I would learn Mandarin if I wasn't so old, because I can't stand the way they do. That like they'll see you and just start.
Nigga.
"Shit, I don't know."
Nigga.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I don't know about
They
that.
said nigga,
But they do
nigga.
start. They
No,
do
no,
like
YouTube
they do
videos
start
of
speaking
black
their
people
language.
who do know a Mandarin or Cantonese, usually Mandarin, right? But there's a couple of guys that I follow on YouTube, right? They know the language, right? And so they're walking around and they don't let it out at first, up
Yeah.
until they say some shit, and then they drop it on them, and then their first reaction is like, "How do you know?"
No, when
How do you know?
when I hear my mother-in-law speak, yeah, I catch the nigga.
Well, look, what is your wife? What's her Asian side? What's that?
Taiwanese or Taiwanese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like one of those guys died, right? Sick.
Who?
He was like a registered genius because of the way he could learn languages. I can't remember his name, but
yeah, okay. One of those black guys I was just talking
yeah,
about.
he's
Yeah,
black dude. He's
Yes.
black dude. He died, man. That was,
Yeah.
man.
I heard about that.
Yeah. Once I found out about him, he was already dead. I was like, man,
He was
that's
already dead.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was. I bought his program and everything,
Mm.
and kind of find out he's dead.
Kieran says he's
Yeah.
married to his wife for 13 years. She's Mexican, and when there's proper Spanish and like ghetto Spanish, and when she's mad
Yeah.
at me, it is ghetto. It's for dramatics. That's all it is.
Yes.
You know, they can stick to one side of Spanish, but women, like Spanish women, they just want to flip it back and forth just to make it more dramatic than it really is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
know
sure
that.
if they heard me
That's
say
what it is.
that, they'll even go off even worse. Like, oh, I covered
Uh-huh.
on. Pinche
Yeah, they come
oh.
dunk on you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they start talking on
See,
you. You stupid
I
mother
don't know what that
chingon.
means. I just know that it's all bad. I know it's
all bad, and it's like-
context. That's all I know.
And when I hear that, I was like, I laugh even more in their faces just because they sound ridiculous when they do it.
that's because
and,
you're a fucking troll.
And that would
That's
just
what
get them
it is.
even more, blowing up in the head. It was like, because I'm laughing.
Oh my god, this is hilarious though. But hey, it is what it is, dog.
Man, my kids
It
are
is
like
what it
looking
is.
at me right now. What do you want? Dad?
Ah,
Okay. All right. Let me look at man, we got to go there, man. It's time,
You
time
said
out
that
food.
30 minutes ago.
I know I did. All right. All right.
Shout out
guys.
to everybody who hung in there with us.
I know. Good
No
night.
doubt.
Bye. Talk to you guys
Good night,
later.
everybody.
Peace.
they really.